Mic check, mic check. All right. All right, down low.
Original.
All right. Cool. Tell your friends we're live. Almost starting. Let me get everything done. Big up, brother Leon. All right. Everyone, tell your friends we're live. Let me get the PDF ready. So I'm rushing around. All right, we're starting soon. Where that? Excellent. Put that on this side. Get rid of that. All right, there we go. All right, let's make a nice quick switch. Hello, everyone. This is Rack Raven. There we go. Hold on. Quick switch. But there you go. Welcome to the Betterment broadcast, everyone. This is our 210th show. That's right. So that's 210 attempts to read of us, working with the community to try to find solutions. Yes, good to see the brother Leon in the house. Yes, nice intro drums there. It's getting ready for the show. Now, let's start as we always start. So, those who are new, this is the Black Bear broadcast. This show is set up for brothers and sisters to discuss solutions and problems and try to use the ideology of Black Bear. And as we start, we normally go through a normal intro, and we're going to do it now. So don't forget to follow the Black Bearman Building Instagram page. It's there. Gonna pull it in there. Can I copy and paste that? Or is it? There you go. It's a PDF. You should be able to copy and paste. But guys, don't forget to take the time to follow the Instagram page. I should put it in the forum or the chat, whatever it's called. There you go. All right. So we're going to start as we always start, and that is to highlight the triple tragedies, which are white supremacy, anti-black racism, and the Ma'afa. Now, these triple tragedies have caused a consistent double dilemma. What is that, I hear you say? Well, it's that we are despised and we are disorganized. Very important reality here. This contributes to many, if not all, of the challenges that we are going through. And today we are going to tackle a very, very big challenge. So we're going to start a new campaign. And then we're going to go a bit harsh on this one, to be honest. But we're going to, but not to worry, because a double dilemma, we have a single solution, which is called Black Betterment. And that's what this broadcast promotes. This broadcast promotes Black Betterment. What is Black Betterment, I hear you say? What is it? I want to know. Well, here's what it is. It's a lifestyle of Black people continuously helping Black people. Now, we're going to watch a few videos and get some context of some things that's going on. But just to skip to the end and give you that the solution, one of the challenges you're going to face is if you don't input from a young age, a set of values and a concept of dedicated upliftment and unity and all that good stuff and self-love within a Black person, and give them the psychological tools to be consistently strong throughout their existence. What will happen is the outward philosophies that fling all over the world, which tend to be anti-Black, will take hold, and what will happen? You have a conquered people. So unfortunately, many Black people are conquered mentally, you see, because we haven't put in these ideologies. Big up, brother Dominic, a very important contributor to the show. Released into all, very important contributor. Now, where are we? So we always focus on Black families, Black economics, and Black health. That's what we focus on. This is very important. And today we'll be talking about black families and I guess black economics as well. Right. So we sent the link is always there. Yeah, it's at the top, like I said. So if you wish to jump in and discuss when we start talking about certain things, feel free. Just don't forget the 4D values, which are discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment. If you can remember those four things when you're talking to other brothers and sisters, it makes the communication so much more easier. You have to understand that unfortunately, the topics of betterment and collective unity and stuff triggers a self sabotage chip in so many brothers and sisters. Many don't know why this happens. We have a case study. We understand why it happens very thoroughly, yeah. But many don't know what happens. All we try to do is we try to use the 4D values to not escalate that chip or to contribute to any kind of woes, you know, destructive behaviors. And, it's what we do. Cool. We also try not to use derogatory language if possible. I know it's hard. Many brothers and sisters, they jump in there and they're effing and blinding left, right. They're used to doing it in front of their grandmas. They're used to doing it in front of their children. And they don't do that at work in front of other community groups because the other groups have a kind of like discipline and a code that many black people follow religiously. But when it comes to black thing, there's like usually a comfortability and the kind of the necessity for rules and these kind of stuff. Not so much. So we in this particular place, we want rules to be there. We want you to use descriptive language and not derogatory language. But we will be playing videos of very homely content where people will be effing and blinding until the sun comes down, I'm sure. But it doesn't reflect the views of the actual broadcast. It's more so a case study where you're going into the world and you're seeing how the world is. But when you come here, you put the world to the side and you try to be constructive just to minimize anxiety, if you can. If you can. It's very hard for so many, though, isn't it? Right. So what are we doing today? Today is very important because I'm thinking of starting, and you have to help me write down. Let me write some stuff down. The conquered black man campaign. Like, so we started, and I have to figure a way to write it, but I'm going to be leading certain imagery and stuff with it, like what percentage of black men are conquered. It's very important. Very important. Unfortunately, for the research and case that I've been doing for so many years, it seems that worldwide, any man labeled black or any person in the black community, there seems to be such a trauma going on, so consistently bad that there's so much basics that a massive percentage of our men don't seem to know or value or uphold. One of the basic ones is you protect black women. Unfortunately, there obviously are many black brothers who protect black women, 10 points. But there are so many who don't even value it or know they don't value it or have an excuse to not do it and they don't know they're not doing it. And these are the type of brothers, they'll jump and defend every other community group apart from their own because they have been thoroughly conquered. That's right. The ideologies that they grew up with has made black things less important and not sexy enough. And I'm the world or UK. Well, I would say in the world, but the UK we're going to focus on today, by the way, family. But unfortunately, when we look around the world, uh, there are obviously pockets of brilliance amongst all black populations, and different communities have different ways of progressing. But we do see that the history of anti-black racism has taken its toll on so many black brothers worldwide that the anti-blackness is just there, and we're going to unpack it today. So let's see the two topics. Conquered black men percentage. We discussed what percentage of black men are mentally defeated or confused on the need for community building. Maybe today I'm going to show some of the comment section. It's always like a revelation when you watch such things. And then part two is white men versus black men. And this is a very controversial statement. You realize that we've never even gone down this path before. But I think it's very necessary. Excuse me? Yes, very necessary. Why is it necessary, Brother Raven? We want to know. I shall tell you why. What I've been trying to explain to the sisters is throughout the internet, you get this dichotomy and this kind of like paradigm of black women versus black men, and then then certain trigger words are said, and people start arguing and flipping, and then I'm gonna marry a white man, I'm gonna marry a white woman, that kind of response. This is the typical response. And I'm saying that we should have a protocol. The protocol is let's accept that men are leaders. So if the ship is sinking, the ship the captain has to be blamed. So let's say the men are to blame. Let's just go there for analogy. Now if men are leaders and the men are fixing stuff, what I recommend women do is you never, ever, ever compete with men. Excuse me, that's right, you don't do it. What you do is whenever black men come to you with any kind of new age, whatever they're saying, just go, okay, you might think that we're bad and you might want to leave the community and marry into the, the white community, but does that mean that you're marrying the daughters of a white man? And is that you actually admitting that the white man is better, or the Asian man, or any other man that the black man wants to flee to, is superior? Remember the word superior? We've hid that away in a treasure chest, but we're going to open it because it's very important for branding and market purposes. Are you saying that they are superior to you at making their women alluring and submissive and obedient and all these words that people want to throw around? And that's why you're fleeing to give all your economic wealth to that community. Once again, women, I suggest strongly, you never compete with black men. Do not do it. You make a black man compete with other men, and unfortunately, and this is going to be very controversial and very shocking, black men, we as a collective will lose. Not because we don't have the ability. We have the ability in a truckloads, but we lack the discipline in teamwork. You see, remember the double dilemma? We are despised and disorganized. Despised and disorganized. And we're going to look at videos today that will show that. So we're going to big up Empress Christie. Very important. Very important. Let's see some of the comments. You will never hear a white woman versus a white man, but you hear all black men versus black men. Yes, the case study shows that this is a further demonstrate that we have a high percentage of conquered black men. And I just say straight out, black men are conquered. It's a very good campaign statement. It's very controversial. It's very clickbaity, but it's actually true. And I'm hoping that brothers and sisters want to challenge me on this, because I spend my time really reserved, really trying to do what's best for the black community, and I try not to use my really years and years of experience and debating and acting and all the skills you need to go out into the world, and I try to reserve it. You see, I try not to really unleash it on brothers and sisters that I know are not ready for that kind of full force. But when it comes to defending black women and children, we have to use the full force. So that's why I expect any black man to jump in at any time, whether I'm on the internet, on the street, or eating, from a black restaurant or whatever it is where I'm at. And I'll debate any brother or sister, and that is that unfortunately black men are collectively conquered, and the only solution is what we call open door elitism, and that is a small group of unconquered black men working together for the benefit of all black society to create concepts and ideas that make black betterment alluring. The branding is there, and we will use words and symbols and those kind of stuff. It's very important, and we've been starting for many years, and we're going to continue. And we give thanks to the brown sisters listening. So let's now go to which one should we drop first? Let me see what I've got. So we're gonna amalgamate the two topics in one because they are kind of related. Don't forget to tell your friends. Go listen. We need to tune into Black Man Broadcast. There's a madman, Brother Raven, and he's saying that black men are conquered. There's a high percentage, and especially in the UK. Let's streamline it to the UK. Yes, that makes it more sexy. He's saying that black men in the UK are conquered. Is that what? Yes. He's saying that that there isn't a big enough presence of black men dominating in economics, in health, in families, or just in any kind of industry, you see. And normally you could be quite honest because of the years and years of sabotage that goes on in when anytime black person tries to do anything constructive. But the reason why we are allowed to say it now is because we're not judging by the high amounts of sabotage. We're judging by the high rate of lack of interest, you see. The lack of interest and the willingness to be conquered to the point where, well, let's look at the videos. I can talk all day, as you know, but we're going to look at the videos. Let's see. So how should we start? Let me see if I can find my fantastic shortcut. Present. Okay, let's open this. Don't forget, tell a friend, we're live. Black Raven is challenging all brothers in the UK black community, but worldwide because unfortunately, it's like, what affects one part of the world affects everywhere. Generally, black men, we are conquered. This is a thing, it's hard to say out loud. Not really, to be honest, but it's something that we should say. It should be a campaign. It should be, it should be used repeatedly. You see, we have to have tools we use to keep us on track. And it's like, why don't we go and marry into that community over there? No, brother, we're conquered. We need to actually be conquerors and fix our own community. So we can't do that. We need those kind of tones just to keep us on path. Because some of the stuff I'm seeing is beyond an abomination. Let's see where we are. 2010. So which one should we start with? Let's start. So basically, there's two brothers. They're famous because I don't watch a lot of the trendy stuff. I don't know them too well, but people tell me that they have a consistent pattern of doing certain things, and I think they've gone to the States and they've triggered. They've obviously said things that's triggered the whole internet. So let me see what I can find on. Right, not that. Is that one? Should I do this one? No, that's the next one. Let's use this woman's thing. This will be good. Big up the sister who made this. I think it's started. Right, so these are the two brothers. I'm sure everyone knows who they are because I'm obviously late to the party. I was saying from time UK black men have allowed themselves to gain this kind of a title, Sarah Rich, the shots, the giggles. They're just looking like an embarrassment. They are looking like embarrassment. And the thing is, when you look at the brothers' eyes, all these brothers, look at their eyes, they don't know any better. And I know, and don't get me wrong, we're going to focus on the individuals today, the age, the age ranges from, it could be, 16 to 47 or whatever, I don't know, right? But unfortunately, there has to be some blame to the generation above who didn't value putting pro-black. I was debating, as I do, at someone, and they did that thing. I said I used the term pro-black, and they tried to tackle it with, "Oh, I'm pro-truth." So I had to use my intellectual, abilities to make them look not correct, and obviously they're back to where, as they tend to do when Raven goes in full force. Anyway, let's see what this is about. Okay, is this? Is it? But now they're danger cancel. But I think it's writing. So let me see if they played.
Oh, you don't know about this?
So basically, this is him. So these are two UK-based guys. I'm sure they're very trendy on the interweb and that good stuff. And they've gone to a white guy who's I've seen him before. He has probably the very, very anti-black talking points. He has a persona of many of those kind of like far right. I mean, his visuals. Well, I mean, they'll argue he says a trend, a fashion style. But a lot of those brothers, I'm not say brothers, a lot of those individuals look that way. But what do I know? I'm just chatting rubbish. Anyway, so I mean, we have certain codes, and we just don't go on certain platforms. And a lot of these guys, they end up on these kind of white supremacist talking point shows. It gets no clickbait. So these brothers have gone to the America, and they're wine and dining with this individual.
Yeah, so you'll see a guy who's had a black girlfriend, all of a sudden he's got buzz cut, like clean shave.
So what they're talking about is there's a phenomenon where black women are married with the European men, the white man, the descendant of the colonizer. And what's happening is there's some kind of thing going on where those white men are now taking pride in their appearance. They're like, okay, I'm, maybe when I'm with this type of woman, I should, there's something happening where I need to look more presentable. I think that's what they're saying. And they're calling this concept the black woman effect. You see, some will just say it's just cleanliness, whatever. But this is what they say.
Close up, bro.
I like that. I like that. They shave their hair because they start losing it because they're so stressed being around this black girl complaining about shit all the time.
And there's the suspected white supremacists there making jokes about black women being violent, angry, whatever, and obviously two black brothers from the UK laughing like, ooh, laughing is a time joke. And maybe you might allow them 1 or 2 seconds or microseconds because when you go on these shows you feel that you're obliged to laugh at jokes. Maybe that's the culture, I don't know. But at a certain point you have to really go, wait a minute, what did he say? A lot of road rapper guys, when you see them on interviews, they check like a lot of the percentage quite quick when they try to question their street stuff. Yeah, you say, what did you say? Yeah, like, or if they try to align them with any kind of funny behaviors, like, whatever. What did you say? And then, whatever. It'd be good to see if that reaction happened when protecting black women. Let's see.
That's why they got to shave their hair.
Nah, bro. White guys with black girlfriends, they
grow a beard because there's more cushion when they get slapped out of That's hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, they have, once again, look at the eyes. They have no idea. They haven't raised any form of Pan-African B1 Black Betterment ideology. So you can be in, or saying that there are some guys who have, and they end up being around all the top white supremacists, and they brought them into places where they spreaded crazy ideologies. But whatever. Anyway, I'm just scared for. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, laughing and cacaing and all that kind of stuff.
I think the black girlfriend effect. It might be a protective instinct, bro.
You think?
Protective. Yeah. Do you guys? Have you ever had black girlfriends?
Yeah.
Dude.
So it's interesting. He's asked. This is interesting. He's asked these two black guys, have they ever had black girlfriends? What a fascinating question to ask black men. But once again, in the UK, this is normal. There's many reasons, and once again, this is why brand is important, because what they'll try to convince you is that everyone marries everyone, and everyone has preferences, and blah blah blah. So they kind of now do away with the concept of loving your own community and work with your own community and building. Even though all the other ethnic groups do, that's their prime function. But black men, there is now a mystery in the black men. I wonder who the black man likes. You have to ask the black man, does he like black women? Do you ask the Asian man, do you like the Asian woman? Do you ask the Jewish man, do you like the Jewish woman? You ask the Palestinian man, you don't. Black men, we have to find out. That's because we haven't marketed black betterment. We haven't trained our children from young to value black, and because they've demonized it. When I use the term pro-black, they go, are you pro-black or pro-truth? I'm saying that when you hear that, those people are marrying the daughters of white men. This is the science that I'm seeing, but now it's all coming out. Let's carry on listening to it.
Have you ever had white girls?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. What's your favorite?
So he's asking, what's your favorite out of the daughters of the colonizer or the daughters of the colonized? The enslaved. Who do you prefer? Which community do you want to build up first? Let's see.
We love them all.
Yeah.
We love all the women, of course. Once again, this is. But by the way, I was debating. I was debating a rapper, because everyone's a rapper now. Heck, everyone's a rapper, right? I think I use the term pro-black, and he started having, oh gosh, this is you're a rapper. Like, what you rap about? You rap about like cheese and crackers. I have no idea what these guys are rapping about. You know what I mean? Maybe they are. So I invited him to debate, and he's got a gig aside, so he couldn't come. But he's going to join me next week, and the topic then will be black betterment versus black, and I always pronounce this word wrong, humanitarian. See, humanitarianism. Humanitarian. You see, I said it about 2 weeks ago. I need to actually see it written down so I can say. But you know what I'm talking about. Humanitarian. Come on, hold on, come on. Humanitarianism. I'm probably. It's just like I can't say banana, but anyway. There you go. But so that's the debate next week. But that's what this is giving the vibes of. Where it's like we're not about black people doing well. We're about everybody doing well. But by everybody doing well, black people are the least doing well. This is the stuff you have to see. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, really? Them all.
Yeah.
That means white.
Yeah, we love them all.
No. Yeah.
laughing. So the black woman is insulted. No one defends. Laughing, Joker kind of smile. Then he asks, "Who do you love?" We love them all. So this is the kind of thing I'm trying to highlight as well. It's like the black man will say we love all people, all things, but we will have the worst in all things. You see. So this is why we have to say that the black man is conquered. It is a very important campaign. It's very important because this is there. Now I want the greatest intellectual, the greatest rappers, the greatest speakers to challenge me. And in that challenging of me, when I unload the trucks and trucks of case studies and intellectual research and all that, just bam, I'll draw, just unload it, bam, boom, whap, Batman's shapes and all that stuff, boom, yeah, I'm ready, because I think I've been too kind. I think I've been too. I have been too kind. I have been too kind, because obviously my code is like not to embarrass the community, not to really, stick it on them, not to really. But are you gonna have videos like this just going around? It's obviously gone pear-shaped at this point. So yeah, big up all the brothers and sisters in the house. Big up Ash Chronicles. Big up Christies. Big up Dominic. Big up Zulu. Big up all. So let's carry on listening. Let's carry on. Zolo.
that is what.
Hey, let me do the US translation.
Kendrick fans, get him!
We love them all.
Yeah, that's royal English.
Love them all. Right.
I really hope that it will be fine.
You know, if you don't, that's fine.
So this is the apology. So obviously, when it happened, they didn't notice it, but naturally, maybe people saw it at some point, and they obviously stuck it on them and gave them direct messages, and maybe family rang. I think some of my aunts might have mentioned, going, "Who are these guys talking this nonsense?" I go, "Okay, let me sort it out." Hold on. Yeah. So obviously, people have seen it. They're obviously popular and this kind of thing. And now this is the apology to the black woman.
But we just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And yeah, there were a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women. And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke. I'm not even going to get into specifics. Making a frankly racist joke. And we were laughing at it. And to give there's first of all, before we get into like specifics or anything like that, obviously there's just literally no excuse. There is no excuse.
Agreed.
And fight or flight is a real thing. Like it is, yeah. Fight or flight is a real thing, and it's so not easy to say, but when you're in those situations, you look at it through a lens of like, bro, if it was me, I promise you, I'll stand up, I'll kick them cameras down, I would smack homeboy in the face, I would say this, I'll do that. But when you're in there, you're in shock.
No, that's the thing, and this is the thing. You have to show me a footage where I was in shock, and that's what I say. That's why you need code. When you go to a lot of brothers, and I saw this in the Speakers Corner community, they want to be friends, they want to be liked, so much so that they'll tolerate jabs to the face, jabs to the ribs. They'll tolerate it. But when you don't want to be like, when you go there because you love black people and you want black people to progress, that's when someone says your women are ugly, you're like, excuse me, what did you say? Nah, show over. Show over. Turn the lights off. Yeah, ready. Yeah, but that's the thing. When you want to be befriended by everyone, you can't. It literally keeps you in one place, and we see it so much, and that's what went down. I suspect very much.
Shock, and all you want to do is move on.
Bro, move on is the fucking word, bro. All you want to do is fucking move on. Just move on to the next thing. Just move on to the next thing.
There's
and
so
like
many
we had
times.
to say a few times, bro, just move on. Just move on.
So many different topics. We were like, move on. And it's not even like about pity laughs or anything, but we just wanted to
get out. That's it.
And I think they posted this and then they removed it. I could be wrong. I think they did that.
Literally get out of that situation, keep the ball rolling, and we thought it was going to be more of like a bros. Chat, but it ended up being something that's like really, really hurt people that look to us for support and look to us to feel protected. And protected is the main.
So we are starting the Black Man Conquered campaign. We have to ask a question. Once we have a percentage of black men that's completely conquered, we have to address it. And right now it's looking like many of the brothers are conquered.
Thing that I wanted to discuss is that it is our duty to protect you guys.
Facts.
And it is definitely not cool to be in that situation and again not be the ones to stand up and kick the cameras down. And we fucked it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again. And it's about being human. It's about realizing that you don't know what you're prepared for. You don't know how to prepare for something
you don't know
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And once it's happened one time, you're like, fuck, all right.
You learn from your mistakes, and that's literally
bro.
learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, we fucked it, and we're sorry.
We definitely do apologize.
It's for me, like, it's one of them ones where you don't realize that, like, for one, when you're part of a community, you don't realize that you can hurt your own community,
especially
when you're not. When unintentionally
for real.
And also on top of that, it was so crazy that like the narrative that's been spun about how we feel about our community, the irony of the fact that whilst the whole reason we're in that country was to just show how much we love our community and show how much we love our supporters and how much time we spent at the shows.
That's another thing. This is something that we have to be very aware of. African, black, very, very clear terms. And in Speaker's Corner, you know, these very, very dangerous guys, great intellectual people, all this good stuff. Same thing I saw. They can't say black African. They can't say it. They have to say our. They have to say, you know, my, the. They can't say black. Now, when I'm there, I saw the Asian man talk about the Asian man. I saw the Jewish man talk. I saw the Chinese man. I saw the white man. You know, the white man say one from the white community. The only time they said it wasn't is when they were practicing deception and said, "I'm not white. I'm a human." And they would say that because black people were trying to organize, and they would come and go, well, "We're all the same." So this is the case study that we saw consistently, right? So you know, the community. What community is that? Is this the community of men that love non-black women? Is this community of black men who are building up the white man's community? We need to know the name of this community so we can go yes or no, and that's what you're going to see. That once again, remember, I'm trying to paint a picture of black men in the UK being conquered. I'm trying to paint that picture. Only once that picture has been painted very beautifully can we come together and go, do we want to be conquered? Okay, what is to be done? And then we have a code of how we should behave it. A code.
And just like getting to know people and just like understanding our community better and just like making friends and making bonds and showing love, and they're showing love. And this whole 6-week trip was just about showing how much we love our community and how much our community show out for us. And then to have that exact same trip be the reason that we're having to have this conversation now. But at the end of the day,
so remember words, you can always say to a black man, the white man won't allow you to say black community. That's a good one. Remember that for marketing. Whenever we're debating and you're trying to use the black community people, you can say the white man won't allow you to say that, and that will trigger certain things, and that will cause a nice kind of like, let's think about what's happening there, right? And that will hit the pride, and then they'll be shouting the black community for another 20 minutes. Another.
Mistakes make you a better person.
Mistakes do make you a better person.
You're not born a perfect person. And yeah, we don't condone, we don't appease that behavior, we don't rate it. And we don't want you guys to think that we were sat in that room rating what's going on.
We hold our hands up, we apologize, you learn from your mistakes, and we hope we don't let our community down again, because ultimately we do this for you guys. Like,
yeah, you guys are all we have, man.
You guys are literally all we have. You guys have taken us to this level, and we don't want to let you guys down going forward and anymore. So, you know.
Yeah, but anyway, on to regular viewership.
Yes, sir.
Love.
I don't know who's doing these edits on it. This is I got this from a random video, so I don't know who does these sound effects. It's not from the Black Man Broadcast. I tell you that. I don't know. So let me see. I think this is some people responding. We big up brother Issa, the Black Telect. Welcome back. You're always welcome to give your opinion as we go through. Just let us block it. I sent you. Yeah, I do have the. I'm gonna play after this.
I used to watch, James and Fahad's content, and I never expected them to trend, how they're currently trending, for pretty much a very interesting reason. If you've not seen it, it's a segment of them having other two men in their podcast, where obviously they created a safe space where these two other men who happen to not be black were speaking down and perpetuating stereotypes towards black women, saying that they're aggressive, they're temperamented, they might slap you, and so many things that again is associated, with again a stereotypes that you would think that a podcast that has two, men of color would actually use that situation to correct these two men that was making these claims. But no, they participated and enabled and continued this conversation and allowing those two men to get away with what they said, because again, they never cared. Which I'm so confused, because these are the same men that will say that they love black women, they respect black women, but then will allow other people to speak down towards black women and not say anything about it. It's just very disappointing, but I'm not surprised.
So James and Fuhad have issued an apology, which cool. The apology itself did sound genuine, but honestly, I can't take it seriously at all until I understand the intentions behind actually going on that Flagrant 2 podcast. That's what I don't understand. Like I've said this before, if you've ever seen anything that Andrew Schultz has ever done, this is his whole thing. This is his shtick. He wants to offend people. He wants to get you to slip up. He wants to get you to admit something. And he does it for other races, not just black women, but black women are his target. He targets black women.
So another thing to test for the case study, the reason why so many white supremacists and anti-black racists and the coalition of non-black people come together to disrupt black progress, the reason why they can use black women as their number one go-to punchline is because every woman group is protected by the man. So if a woman group is easy target, it shows the inadequacies of the man. And this is part of the process of the campaign of the Conquered Black Land that we're trying to fix. So just don't forget that. Just carry on listening.
A lot. So I'm trying to understand, like, James and Fuhad, have you never listened to anything that he's ever done? Were you guys not aware of the podcast that you were going on to? And I find that hard to believe, because I would think that if you're making a name for yourself, you're doing the due diligence to make sure that you're going on platforms that are going to kind of match with your brand. So that podcast in itself, them even going on Flagrant, I don't know, that's a part for me. Like, it seems like there was intention there. And until I kind of understand that, I don't know.
Andrew Schultz, or whatever your name is, I'm not mad at you. No, I'm not. See, I'm not like the angry black women that you feel so comfortable disrespecting, attacking, right? Playing on stereotypes and what have you. I'm not mad. I'm not gonna do that. See, I think I'm funny. Just like you, I think I'm funny. I have a sense of humor, just like you. And as a black woman, I'm gonna have to come on here and defend myself because, well, as you and the whole world knows, it's not like black men are gonna do that. In fact, what they do is give you a platform to basically disrespect us because you have nothing better to do with your existence.
So what the sister's saying there is she's going to have to defend black women because black men are giving you a platform, this kind of stuff. I think that's what she's saying.
So, as an
the brother Razor and Issa the Black Intellect, they've come to have a good, strong debate amongst black men. A very important topic. You know, what percentage of black men are conquered, and should we believe that with that kind of campaign in the UK? Black men are conquered by the white man. That's a good one. That's a good one. That usually gets through talking. Let's carry on.
You're a comedian to a lowly one like yourself. Here are a couple of jokes from a black woman to a Jewish man. If I were your black girlfriend, right? If I were your black girlfriend, I would buy you striped pajamas for your birthday. Yeah, like every year.
I love him. I know him, y'all. I know him. I know this man.
All right, so I think the women are doing it. I don't know what this is about. There's a lot of women giving. Maybe we'll come back to this. We're going to listen to, I think it was a brother Dominic sent me some videos. Big up to that brother. Let's listen to one of them now. Present, I think, the video. Let's have a sneak peek. Which one is it? It's quite new. Good message. Is this one? I said this one.
Black women is people feel so comfortable disrespecting.
Hey, pause it. Empress Kushti is said a very good, important question. Maybe just the black men listening, if you possible. What percentage in the UK of black men do you think are conquered? When we're saying conquered, we're saying, you know, they will not be doing any kind of black betterment. They will not be building communities. They will not be defending black women. They might, you know, high percentage will not want to marry black women. They won't want to boost the economics of black people and have a economic hub. They are really like, you know, humanitarianism, or what the word is, and all that kind of stuff. But they're not really black focused. This conquer mentality. What percentage? Just most of the men. And just so you can write in the comment section. Oh, 99%. That's quite. It's very okay. There you go. So 99% of the men in the UK. So I'm going to write that down so I can keep a note of that. So let's see if there's any different. But remember, whatever you guys say, we're going to release it as a tally. Let's go. Let's get into the video, by the way.
Them because we don't respect them publicly, right? White people for so long have used the excuse, why can't I say the N-word when you say that to yourselves or call yourself that or use that in your music, which is bullshit, right? Or white people have said, if you're using the B word, or they say, if you're using the B word, why can't I call them that? That's bullshit as well, right? That's excuses to be certain things and be disrespectful when you shouldn't be. So when you're sitting across from Andrew Schultz and he's talking about an experience that he can't understand because his wife is not black, you don't have the right to talk about that. You don't have the right to speak on something.
Even if he had a black wife, he still would be able to speak on
that you don't know, right? And to make a joke about what the experience is one thing if you're talking about haircuts and you're talking about clothing and you're talking about beards, or you're comparing what our friend Travis Kelce looked like when he was with Kayla Nicole to what he looks like now that he's with Taylor Swift, right? That is part of it. You start to assimilate to the people around you. What you're not going to do, though, is be disrespectful and say you have to develop a defense mechanism because of alleged violence. Black women aren't violent. Black women don't just walk around to beat people or to be angry or to be treated a certain way. No, black women, to me, were the entire front line of the Alton Sterling protests when he died, when he was killed by cops in Louisiana. Black women are on the front lines of everything that's about us. Black women understood that they had to take a back seat because as we were fighting for rights in our country, that we as men were going to be able to get through the door before they were. So they decided to push us forward and give us ideas and give us help and give us support and be our biggest cheerleaders because they knew we'll have an opportunity to get in the door first. The problem is so many times now we're getting in those doors and we aren't reaching back and bringing them through that same door with us. And this is just another example of that. So whoever is Andrew Schultz's black friend, Charlemagne, you're his black friend, sit him down, talk to him, tell him what the black woman experience truly is, because he ain't married to one and he's obviously never been around enough of them to know how strong, how beautiful, how independent they could be while also being supportive, how much black women have done to create this entire world that we all live in and the way that they've poured in it.
Good video there. We're joined by Brother Razor and Issa the Black Telect. Welcome to the Black Man Broadcast family. Welcome.
Good evening.
Salam, brother. Peace and love, bro. Peace and love.
It's good to see you guys here. I'm back. So we're starting a show that's spearheaded by obviously this incident, but it's long overdue. We've had to cover it anyway, and that is the conquered black man percentage. We discussed what percentage of black men are mentally defeated or confused on the need for community building. Plus, the most important one of all, white man versus black man. We look at which group of men are superior, don't forget that word, at defending the honor of their women on social media. We're very particular on that one. So it's good that we only want men to talk. My thing is, just so you know, I'm going to be, wherever comes from this kind of session, I'm looking to start the UK Black Men Are Conquered kind of campaign just to highlight it. I think I've noticed that many brothers in the UK, they don't really like talking about race too much directly, but they do like doing things that doesn't work in black people's collective best interest, and they'll use words like preference, or we showed an example just then where the question was asked, do you like white women or black women? And this is a very awkward question for them. I can't give an answer. I love all women, and that I see this very particular on black men. Everyone is loved, but really black people are not loved, so not everyone is loved. And I think it's time that men talk about it, and try to find solutions. All right.
Okay. Can I talk?
You most certainly can.
Thank you, my brother. Greetings to Brother Raven, Brother Razor, the sisters and brothers in the comments, and all listeners. Thank you very much for letting me on, brother.
Salute.
Salute, King. Yeah, so for me, this is, a prime time for this kind of topic to come up, because we've heard a lot of information on this particularly sick individual who's been arrested now and denied bail twice. And when you talk about conquered, it's the same as the buck breaking thing that's been going on for a long time, right? And then they done it in such a, whereas before they done it publicly.
Yes.
Then they done it, well, we're going to elevate these lot. We're going to make sure that these lot are paid the most amount just for entertainment purposes, or calling black people and the world, but mainly black people, towards their own destruction, disrespecting their own black women, calling them bitch, etc., etc. And we're going to make sure that they're inclined to a certain behavior in which was imprinted upon them through the buck breaking, and they're going to continue the buck breaking, the blackmail, and so on. So for me, there is in all of this media, certain levels of social media. Obviously, if you've got your own channel like you have, but when you go further up and you're getting paid by these people or whatever, it seems you have to kind of toe that line, even if you haven't if they haven't personally been buck broken. Do you see what I mean? So conquered, that's really what conquering looks like, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So
now, before you feel, I'm just brother Dominic, are you talking about the one with the blackjack stuff? Because I've blackified that. We'll play it after the brother speaks, by the way. If you're talking about that one, I've got that one. Go ahead, brother Issa. You wanted to finish? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, in relation to you talk about code, and I agree. You know, you talk about language and words used that create anxiety and stuff. And I agree if you're having an organized, civilized debate and stuff, but there must be an understanding in which, not necessarily swearing, but language that's appropriate. That if anybody is anti-black, he's a primitive, savage monkey. And it has to be something which we have an imagery in which they are seen to be beneath our feet, the slime of create, like the most disgusting creature, which automatically puts us at the top.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, bro. Let me just jump because we've had I remember your campaign many years, quite successful in what you were doing, and I can't say I disagree with it. But what I would say before we ever get to that standpoint, there are descriptive words that places men versus men that I think could be even more effective, and that is where and you know it causes much anxiety, maybe even more, and that is going back to that basic concept now of the white man versus the black man, and black man being conquered by the white man. And whenever you come and you talk about humanitarianism and having preference, this shows that you are conquered by the white man. This shows that you have fled to his community and you're building his community up. So before we get to the names of putting them next to monkeys and chimpanzees and koala bears, whatever, we can actually say the facts, right? That there are groups, and one group is, remember this word, superior. So what happens? We've spent so many years not using these terms because it comes from eugenics and it comes from white supremacy, and we don't want to use it. But I think if we cannot get our men in line, we can actually use those tools again. We can say that we've covered you from these words because it wasn't nice many years ago. Yeah, because you were in an inferior position because of what was done to you, but now you're in an inferior position because of what you've done to yourself. You see. As in, by not fighting back, by not building, by not seeing who is valuable, you are in an inferior position. Yeah. So we can say that the white man is superior to the black man because he has mastered the art of fixing his community and allowing others to actually fix it for him as well, while we have failed at such a task. Yeah. Go ahead.
Please let me respond, brother. I would say the problem with that is that because these lot have so much control over the media, because we have an interdimensional relationship between our black queens, our black kings, and the youngers, that the youngers already having problems with identity crisis and so on, will be happy to take that on board and probably want to be an LGBT or even bleach their skin. So for me, I think the way around it is to look at your objective goal, identify who you are as the original man, the superior cream of creation, and anyone who is anti that is a inferior savage. And I'm saying once you hold on to that, that will be the measurement of which you look at everyone else. And let me just say this: intrinsic to that, when you look at anything throughout history of how they've abused you and conquered you and so on, you would start to despise any behavior that has been against you. But if you continuously call them conquered as a black man, that's equal to calling them the N-word. The N-word encompasses all of that.
There you go. Now, what you're saying, you will never say I disagree with what you're saying. I think there is a value and strategy in that perspective, and I really do. But what I would say is the next step is something that we've always tried to stay away from, and that is elitism and open door elitism, right? And that's the word that we push forward in the Black Bear broadcast. And what we're saying is we acknowledge that black men collectively are conquered, right? Conquered. However, we know there is a small few who can come together to actually work on the collective best interests of all black men, right? And actually lead the way. And that particular group are the open door elite. Now, the question is, who is that? Yeah, we don't look at some say you're it, you're not it, right? But what you do is you have a set of principles, and if you hit those principles, you're within it. So we have to establish those principles. Now, I've obviously put forward black love, You have to want to be with a black woman. You have to want to. If the black woman, let's just pretend the black woman is finished. Let's pretend that she has become a spirit of wickedness. Let's say pretend, yeah. Then it's your job to make her a spirit of goodness and not try to go to the door of the European to find your solace, right? These have to be the principles, isn't it? Fixing the black economics, want to hire others, each one teach one philosophy. We value black health. We want the black woman when she goes to the hospital not to more likely die giving birth. We want us to not have a highest rate of diabetes and this kind of stuff. We want to drink good water, plant-based diet, whatever it might be. All the most healthy things a community can do to thrive. Yeah, if we have that as a principle, and that is what we call the open door elite. Yeah, and that way we know that we only need to get between 5 and 30% of a population doing such things where we start seeing the change, right? But that then becomes a thing. There are two types of black people: the conquered and the conquerors. And we established that there is a small group of conquerors, and when you behave these ways, you are conquered. But you are conquered, right? And if you want to be a conqueror, these are the principles. And like I said, you see me for many years, bro. I know you've seen me personally, and you will notice that when I'm at Speaker's Corner, the rules never change. The template doesn't change. You know, it's like these are the rules, and you have to come to it. You don't pull it down; you have to come up to it. And I would suggest that this would be the strategy that I'll push forward. But once again, this is a debate for the brothers and sisters to chime in. We are talking for those who are joining new. Are black men conquered? More importantly, what percentage of black men are conquered? Because I would push forward black men are definitely conquered. But what percentage is it, right? And then we are comparing.
Are you talking from a UK perspective?
Yes, very thanks for the update. So this is a worldwide phenomenon, but for this particular debate, and obviously because we're now based in the UK, we want to focus on the UK because there is much brilliance going on in the UK. There really is. Like when I start doing pound for pound, looking at certain places, there's some things that is done really well here. But unfortunately, there's some things that's doing terrible. So for example, if I went to the States and stuff, I could say black love, and that would make sense. And I will see that makes more of a sense of it. They will look at their athletes and superstars who marry into other communities, and they go, yeah, that's not beneficial to our community. That makes sense. If you tell this to a black UK guy, their eyes are like dog, like puppy dogs or puppy eyes. They have no idea. They have no idea. Like I'm talking about the most baddest rappers of all time. They've got lyrics for shooting people across the cosmos. They've got every kind of bad lyric in the world. When I say pro-blackness, their heart sinks to the floor. They're like, you do not say that, Raven. You do not say that word. You do not say that word. This man has sold all kinds of narcotics to all kinds of people, and all black people, to be honest, in every single corner of the manor. But when Raven says pro-black, this is a crime upon crime. This is the end of the universe. This is death incarnate. So this is what we're dealing with, family. So this is why the UK we're going to focus on, so we can correct that which is incorrect. There you go, family.
Oh boy.
All right.
So,
go ahead.
Yeah. I think like you were saying about the conquered man. I understand. Look, these two guys, because I frequent a lot of content on YouTube, which is mostly North American. I guess I think the one thing that they certain people from North America are not really understanding is the mentality that is over here in regards to how we see ourselves. And understanding the dynamic between West Indian and African and just being black in general. So when certain dudes are on these worldwide platforms, it's almost like a shock to the system because they don't know. And the irony with that is even if you go in Europe or the United States or even Latin America, there is a similarity in regards to how we behave when we think less of ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And I mean, obviously, there's dudes that hold it down and stuff. I get that, but these two guys that were, see, I want to say a positive for these two dudes. I think personally, if they get the right management, the right whatever to go on in America, they'll have a very cool career. They got energy and they bounce well off each other. But the problem is, it's that same shit that I keep seeing. It's that same attitude towards your own kind. And I see this in real life. I've seen it in real life. And I wonder to myself, even man that is a bad man is speaking on a position of weakness. And I'm like, yo, I've never understood that concept. Why you would actually kind of I don't know. I'm just trying to think about it, man.
It's because we have decided to put our head in the sand and pretend that everything's all right because they've said it's all right, and they've devised other non-blatant ways of coming against us, right? So therefore, because we've had these little ways out and they've opened doors, if you come and start using the N-word and disrespecting your women and talking about Doppy and your own black people that look like you, man, we'll make you a millionaire and you'll have all these women around you and all these drugs and all this stuff, and we'll protect you maybe for 20 odd years and then do what they've done to this guy. So at the end of the day, it's as simple as this. Either we're going to have an identity in which these are the rules that are acceptable if you're going to be black on any platform of social media. These are the principles. There should be some boxes that need to be ticked. And they say, do you tick these boxes? You will not allow any monkey, any savage to disrespect, whether he's black or not, to disrespect black women, black children, and black men. Okay, if you're having a discussion about the issues, so let's say for black men, me personally, even if I have issues with black sisters, I will not discuss it on open panels. It might be
this
a closed.
Is what I'm saying. Oh my days!
So, because what I'm saying is, if you look at these people, they've got issues in each community. If you know what's going on in these communities, it's crazy. But because a lot of them speak different languages, bruv, they can speak. You're in the shop and they're talking about something, and if you know what they were saying, you'd be like, right, there's nastiness that goes in their community, as you can see with Tommy and what he exposed up the top and the rest of it, right up north. So, what my point? I mean, I vehemently disagree with labeling the brothers, men conquered, in a sense that we need to just focus on what we should be, present that imagery to be what we should be all the time. Because what will happen is the brothers that feel conquered in life, as a lot of people, especially young black men, do you know what I mean, on certain self-deletion and all of that, when you start to reprint, well, you conquered, they're just going to identify with being conquered.
Well, let me explain.
You say, no, you're supposed to be...
Let me add an extra 20 pence piece of that, right? So very straightforward is like this. There is principles and things that happen that firmly put you in a conquered state. Now, the question is, choice is important. So we're saying that if you have these ideologies, these concepts, these consistencies, you go from being conquered to conquering. You see? Now, what I don't want to do is say the truth and this ancient kind of fear, like if you tell black people the truth, they're gonna kill themselves, they're gonna turn homosexual, they're gonna jump out the window, and all this kind of stuff. And I heard it, right? I'm saying that that's not how conquering men think. How conquering men think, and I know, is you go, what? There's 10 men over there with hammers. Cool. Let's get 20 men with hammers here, innit? Yeah, you know what I mean? Let's play that game. You don't go, oh, the hammers, they're so big. You just don't understand. We don't do that, yeah? Because that's not how conquerors think, yeah? I'm saying that if some people get even more conquered by the awareness of being conquered, then they're conquered, yeah? Because amongst dormant in our society, right, are the most amazing strategy planners and tacticians and all that, right? But they're unaware of black men. They're unaware of B1. They're unaware of ideologies that keeps them dedicated to black progress. Because as far as they're concerned, everything is good, everything is great. When we start coming with when we start going, if you were to separate black men, and let's use the UK, if you were to separate black men and say Asian men, yeah, what are you seeing? Are you seeing a more dedicated to economics from one? Are you seeing a more dedicated to education from one? Are you seeing one that like their women are never touched by others in public, right? Yeah, but those they will touch you in their shop. If you try to go buy, if you try to give them all your economics, they'll still tump up your women. And then what do you men do? Why are you causing grief in the shop? Whatever, right? This is conquered mentality, and I'm saying that with me, I'm very kind. I know this. I've spent years being kind to the community. I've had a code. Don't put things out in public. But we're at the point now is I work in marketing, and I know that if you want to sell teeth whitening, you've got to tell them their teeth are dirty. You can't just, you know what I mean? You've got to show them that it's dirty.
No, no.
Yellow teeth, bro.
That's how it works.
No, they don't. Listen, stop. Wait. They don't do that, brother.
That's how it works.
What they do? No, they show someone
Yellow
else. What
teeth,
they do?
bro.
They show you. Listen, they don't come to you and say to you, listen, if they're on the street trying to advertise, that's so funny.
That's what they do immediately.
Wait, listen, brother. Wait. Hold on. If they're trying to tell people on the street, oh, but tooth whitening, yeah, they're going to show a picture of someone else's teeth who's dirty. Yeah. And say, you know what? They won't tell them. Listen, you see the.
I hear that. Let me stretch it out because it's a good metaphor, right? What we're saying is there's a set of principles that people don't know they fall under. So, for example, you know, people's teeth are people's teeth, whatever, right? But what they do in America is they highlight that this is what we think the standard of teeth should look like, right? And then obviously people go, well, my teeth don't look like that, so I'm now going to give you £7,000 to look like that, right? That's what they do. Yeah. So with us, it's like I had no idea that black men marrying black women is a part of a revolutionary act. I had no idea. I had no idea that learning the trade and teaching other brothers and sisters this trade is part of a revolutionary act. I had no idea that starting a business and connecting with other business is a revolutionary act. All these things, they have no. If you ask go up to any black person when you debate them, right? And then if you want to shut them down like 7 seconds, really, just go, what do you do that's beneficial to black people? And then all you're going to hear is wind blowing. You're going to hear bells going off in China. Yeah, that's what you have cricketing. Yeah, that's what you're going to hear because there is no principles of a consistent concept that works in black people's collective best interest. So what we're saying, the teeth white analogy is, look, become constructive, start a business, do not speak on these issues online, blah, 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 blah. Be healthy, promote healthyism. Yeah. All these things, we've got a list of principles that is black, B1, black first, right? This is the teeth whitening that we're showing on the board, isn't it? And if you want it, if you come here, you get your teeth whitened, yeah, or you get your black Betterment dosage or whatever. Yeah, that's what it is. Now, if you don't do that, you've got dirty teeth, or you've been conquered, however you want to do it. Yeah. What I'm saying is, we're saying that you can be conquered or conquering. You can be, and it comes down to choice. Yeah. So when I talk to black people, like, look how many interviews I've done with so many black brothers, so many, where I'm talking about black love, and they're like, "But what if your soulmate's from the European? What if an angel comes down and her wings turn into flesh and she's white? Like, what? This is poetry.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Why is it that for the white man's daughter, for the white man's institution, you're so poetical? You've got metaphor upon metaphor. You've got simile upon simile. You can rhyme 7 times in a line for this. But when it comes to black stuff, it's like, ain't gonna work, brother. You know. Now we must be kind. We can't tell them they're conquered, because if we tell them they're conquered, they're gonna jump out the window. I'm like, really? No. We open the door. We say, this is the door for conquerors. Who wants to come in? And when they come in, they go, do you mind if I bring my non-black wife? We do mind. We mind very much. Yeah, because we're trying to promote black love. So you can be married to who you want to be married to, but you got to be promoting black love. I don't want no 20-hour debate about why love has no color. Black love has a color. It's black. That's the color of black love. Is black. Yeah. Like, listen. If I'm in a debate with a man and I'm saying the importance of black love, right? And they don't understand it, I go, it's okay, brother. We're conquered. You're not meant to know. That's how I'm gonna do it, innit? I'm gonna go, you don't know any better. We're conquered. Like I'm saying, I'm not debating with you. I'm not debating with you the importance of black Betterment. I'm debating with you that I'm demonstrating that we're conquered. And after I've demonstrated that we're conquered, because you're fighting for the right to marry white, yeah, because of that, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna say you're conquered, demonstrate it, then I'm gonna say black Betterment is not for all people, you know, it's for the open door elite, because that 5 to 30% of brothers on code doing this consistent thing, other people will fall in line automatically. How do we know? Because black people are anti-black because they fell in line automatically with anti-black rhetoric. They see it on the TV, they see it on, like I said, we've done case studies for 4 years now. Let's look at Michael Jackson, innit? He says, "Jew me, stew me," all the kind of stuff. The Jewish people shut it down in 7 seconds. That's Michael Jackson, the biggest pop star of all time. The Jewish people tell him can't do it, innit? Yeah, Jewish people. They tried to make a rap joke and they mentioned some kind of Jewish metaphor. The Jewish record owners, they shut it down immediately. But when the black people want to kill black people, talk about pimping, all this kind of stuff, go ahead, rhyme, be sublime all the time, baby. Do what you want, yeah, because it's your community. The best film to watch, and they call the best film of all time, and I can agree, it's well put together, and we should watch it all the time, all the time. There's a film called The Godfather, and every rapper, when they rap, they want to be wicked, right? But they don't want to be black man wicked. They want to be white man wicked. So they name themselves after every single Godfather character. Good on them, right? But there's a scene where they say, listen, we cannot sell drugs. We cannot sell drugs because if we sell drugs, we're going to destroy our community. This is a problem. And they say, listen, let's give it to the black people. Let them sell it to themselves. They're animals anyway. And they go, agreed. And then they move on. And this wasn't like a controversial scene. This is just how it was. It's like, yeah, of course. Right? Wow. This is the #1 film in the world. If you want to look at the #1 film in the world, it's The Godfather. And randomly in the film with no... Let me tell you how much black people was in the film, because I know this, because I do this case study, right? In the airport scene, where they're coming from Italy, yeah? They've got pictures of black Moors. They've got black Moors with the feathers on, yeah? And they're so far back that now when you get the HD version, you can actually finally see their skin. So I go, oh, look. There's actually 7 black people in The Godfather, and then there's a few black people as butlers in a mansion serving wine or whatever, right? We're not even in the film. Just give it to the end and sell the drugs. This scene is important, yeah. That's what I'm talking about, yeah. But who do black rappers want to name themselves after? Italian gangsters, yeah.
Gangsters, the mafioso era.
Yeah. Conquered. We have to go. You go. We're not even arguing with people. We go. We're accepting that we are conquered, so we're practicing open door elitism, meaning a small number are going to be consistent. How can you be in that room if you're conquered? Like and go. Well, what do I need to do to be unconquered? What? Well, you need to love the black woman. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Okay, you're gone. There you go. What can I say?
I get you. I think I get what you're saying. Especially because I do like the cut and dry, like there's a clear line of demarcation between what and what, and you know, because we don't the gray areas don't do us any good. It was just that term, and I'm looking at it from a psychology perspective, and yeah, I think from what you've said now, you know, the elaboration on it, I would say because most definitely with all of the what you can say the filler, you know, what you've explained of it, yeah, definitely.
Let me tell you something, brothers, yeah. My love for black people is very strong. So let me explain because what it is when you start if you're poor, yeah, if you're poor and you got low cash or you're struggling to find work, yeah, it's very easy to take a payment and betray black people. It's very easy, and that's why poor people make the easiest flipping, right? We get that, yeah. But what it is there's a small percentage of brothers, right, and sisters who their brain like puts dolphins and stuff like that, yeah, when they see black progress, when they see another black man or black woman doing good, yeah, it's like they don't have to do good. They can see other people do good. They could be in a cardboard box, and as long as they see a sea of black people doing good, they're happy in that box, right? I'm one of those people, isn't it? Right? And because I'm one of those people, I sit down day to day, week to week, coming up with strategies of how to push black people forward. So anything that I write with blessing from the community and collaboration from the community is all been done through that kind of that psychological marketing standpoint. It's done in a way where I can be on a TV show, yeah, in a suit on a couch, and I say everything, and it's like, okay, that sounds a bit controversial, and when I unpack it, it's like, boy, it's the truth. Boy, it's the truth. And that's how we deal with these things, right? That's how we deal with these things. So nothing that comes from the Black Bear broadcast that me and these brothers and sisters have worked through week and week is done ever to be derogative or ever to do wicked malice to black people. It is actual strategies that works correctly that you can rewrite backwards, forwards, and it makes sense and it falls in place within the ideology of black people helping black people on black issues whenever it's constructively possible. We are saying that when you look at veganism, when you look at Hinduism, when you look at any ism that someone promotes, right? When they die, it continues, yeah? It does a purpose. there is no consistent ideology that can go across the black community. Meaning, this guy might be a Muslim, this guy might be a Christian, this guy might be atheist, this guy might be homeless, this guy might be a vegan, this guy might be whatever, right? But because of that, they might have challenges trying to synchronize methods of betterment. Black betterment is that. It is the way to synchronize every single black person potentially, meaning choice. Meaning black people have the choice. And this is a remarkable sight, brother. On this show that you guys are on, that's what we're doing. In the future time where black people become synchronized, they're going to have to see the genesis of it. Like, where did this come from? It's coming from here. Why is that? Because we went to Speaker's Corner and we realized so many of the black men, they like talking about this, that, throwing chairs at each other, which is funny, cool, or whatever, right? We said, you know what? When we come to real business, we can't do that, innit? And let's have a code to minimize that. And the reason I'm saying this is because I love the psychology of what you're saying, brother, where it's like, call them this, then call that them. I see the logic in it. However, things happen in a holistic nature, meaning one change here changes another change there. So in order for me to talk to someone over there, I need to have a principle before I walk that room. I say, I'm not going to mention the hair, I'm not going to mention the feet, I'm not going to mention the religion, because I know that if I mention that before I go in, we're going to have a 20-hour debate about things that's got nothing to do with saving the children from starving, you see? And that's connected to a whole of network of ideas, right? So I'm saying the way we speak, yeah, has to be done that. So if I walk, for example, if I walk into this room, behind me are two guys. Yeah, there are two guys. One's a light-skinned brother, one's a Muslim brother. Yeah. And us three want to help this woman, or this child. Just say we want to do that, right? As I'm trying to talk to the child, I can't be offending the guys behind me. I can't be going, listen, man, you don't want to be no light-skinned punk. Come on, man, those Muslims are silly. I can't be using those terms when I'm talking to this sister, because as I'm trying to gain one person to be synchronized, I'm unsynchronizing two behind me. So I need to have a whole way of operating, and that operating has to be code. I mean, I don't talk about these things in these platforms because it's going to have a negative effect. It's going to have a knock-on effect that we cannot bounce back from. And the way we use the term conquered black men is included in that concept. I hope that makes sense, brother.
Yeah, no, beautiful. I think it needs all of it. So you got your more sophisticated and professional approach, but obviously, you know what I mean, you need the brawlers and the other side, because I've definitely seen, you know, how hard it is for black people to use it. So for instance, what if I say whatever they've called us, we use an equivalent. So they used to call us monkey, I call them monkey, right? And I say, if you believe black people are inferior, you're a monkey. So if they want to call us the N-word, there doesn't seem to be much equivalent. But if you say something like white honky, albino monkey, or something like that, then obviously that will be something, you know, because I've said that to somebody that thought they could use the N-word to me and try to make it look like it was some sort of cool thing, but they knew what they were doing. So when I said that to them, the shock on their face by calling them albino monkey and things like that. So instead of, you know, black people being out there being violent when they call the N-word, because they don't have nothing to say back, which causes such shock and offense, where they can smile and feel good within themselves and say, yeah, that hurt you, didn't it? Do you see what I mean? And I suggest we need a psychological, emotional self-defense when it comes to these people, because it's always us. You dare to call me that? It's be like, well, they used the word. So we can either use one word or some other word that hurts them. And I'm telling you, this one word albino is something that really cuts up a lot of anti-black peckerwoods. So
say it word again. Say it word again.
What, albino?
Yeah. So here's the issue, brother. Right. I think you're demonstrating an example I gave you within the black community, brother. Right. We have brothers with albinism and brothers with vitiligo, and we have brothers who have ginger hair, brothers who are extremely high melanated, very low melanated. Right. If we use these conditions or these phenotypes as an insult on our enemy, then we might be potentially unsynchronizing our own community. This is the strategy, brother. Like this is just like like I said, it might seem hard to understand. For example,
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the only thing that works.
I hear that. Vinny Fuller said this, right? He says when he's called the N-word, he agrees. He goes, I agree I'm an N-word, because N-word means victim of white supremacy. So he just says that whenever a European calls me the N-word, I go, I'm a victim of white supremacy. And that's what it is, because it doesn't have a definition. So definition, victim of white supremacy. And then it tricks them. For example, when I go on to comment section and stuff, right? There's always, when people are, doing the whole like or racial showcasing and black men marrying white women and cutting each other and black women this, whatever. Rather than join in and start using name calling, I say, does your European partner support reparations? My goodness, that literally changed the whole context of the discussion. And then what happens is I get 1,000 Europeans bombard me with hate, like, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you? And after that, I get all these 1,000 bombardments of hate. I say, brothers, you notice this? That see how the Europeans are on code? You're marrying their women and giving them all your economics. But when I ask how many want to support reparations, they all get in cold and bombard me with hate. Yeah. So maybe you should ask your beloved European wife this question before you marry her. You see? And then maybe that might actually change. You might then have more value in a sister, because I can assure you, if you ask your sister what's your views on reparations, they're going to tell you we deserve it. It's old. Now, am I talking about reparations because I think we're going to get it? No. Reparations is a strategy. We use it as a strategy to highlight the double dilemma. What is the double dilemma? Black people are despised and disorganized. You see? Highlight that. And with the double dilemma, we need a single solution. What is a single solution? Black Betterment. What is Black Betterment? Black people helping black people on black issues whenever it's constructively possible in all areas of people activity. What about the activity of your family? Marry a black woman. What about the activity of economics? Start a black business. What about the activity of health? Make sure black people are eating good. Grow your own farms. Blah, blah, blah. We are forming this ideology here. And what we have to do is to make sure that the words we use don't allow someone to backdoor and go, look what they said about the albino community. Look what they said about the white woman's legs, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Now, as individuals, you can say what you want, but I'm saying in the text, it must be codified. It must be synchronized. It must be bulletproof.
Yep. I agree with you. That's what I was saying. I was just saying that, for those who are obviously, because a lot of our youngsters and other people are, rugged, and they're not going to use polite language. But I'm saying if they have something to say back, which they can see, that they can just turn around and smile. You know what I mean? So I totally agree with you. You don't do a presentation or call people professionally with that kind of thing. But yeah, we agree, bro.
Yeah, I understand that there's going to be different types. It's almost like a video game where you pick Dowsim, DJ, Ken, or whatever, right? You got different styles, right? And I'm saying that I'm not here to critique the styles. I'm saying that we are all part of one thing, and the one part of there's a base, there's a code, there's a script, and that script is consistent. And when someone reads that script, it's like, man, I can't even floor this. Like what they're saying is they know that they are hated by all, and they've given the case study. And because they know they're hated by all, and we're never going to pay them what we owe them ever, they reserve the right to do what other communities do anyway, and that is focus on themselves. And the reason they're highlighting is because so many of their brown sisters aren't aware that they're collectively inadequate. They have no idea that the white man is in a superior position and the black man is in an inferior position. They don't know this because they look at humans as one thing. Like humans, we're all doing good. Humans, we're all doing bad. I'm going to marry a human. I'm a human, like I said, right? But then when you look at the humans, at the bottom of the table are the black humans, and at the top of the table are all the rest. So we're going to highlight that. And the only way we can highlight is saying, yes, humans are doing good, but black people are doing bad. How bad? Collectively inadequately bad. How bad? We are in an inferior position bad. How bad? The majority of the UK men are conquered bad, and they refuse to compete with white men, and they want to marry into the white community through the daughters of white men and give away their economics. These are the strategies. Now, nothing I said there is offensive. It's all correct and true. If you look at our matter of fact, we have it here. We have it all here. Have I got open? I can't see. Yeah, we've got this is the database of everything. Yeah. We week to week we collate so much. Is this even? Did I double click on this? I don't know if I did. It's very poor. Oh, is it because I've got a read mode? Hold on. View, read, show hide, disable. Read. I can't see it now. Read mode. Yeah. Oh, just type it. I can type it in now. I'm gonna leave this over as well. Yeah. So You know, so we have concepts where they've gone through and tried to use racial whitening. What is racial whitening? Where you limit black people's progression and mobility and economic ownership, right? And you say you can only have stuff when, you know, we're gonna have to watch a video as well, by the way, that Brother Dominic gave, and it's gonna correlate with what I'm saying. Yeah, you can only have things when you marry into a white person, and then the browner person gets more privileges and so forth. Well, this was law in Australia and law in Brazil and South Americas, right? Now similar things are happening in just normal day to day. Yeah, and I'm gonna play a video where I'm gonna highlight this, right? And we're gonna use this as a case study. And we go, not to worry, we're just highlighting because you're inadequate. You don't know any better. Listen, we know that you're trying to transform from a black state to a white state. We're just highlighting it because obviously not all of us want to do it, because some of us actually want to stand and be black and help black people. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, all case studies, right? All case. Where's the politician stuff? Sorry. Yeah, yeah. So like I said, this is the UK politicians, right? I need to update the latest ones there, right? But every single black politician I came across, not one, not two, not three, not four, but all, yeah, were married not to a Bengali woman or a highly melanated Sri Lankan or whatever, right? A European woman, blonde, usually, if not blonde, blue eyes, yeah, all of them. We're talking about conservative, we're talking about Labour, whatever. Yeah. There is even some, for whatever reason, they cannot be with a woman. They're not attracted to a woman. So do they find a black man? No, sir. They find a white man. Yeah. Now, am I against miscegenation? No, I'm not against miscegenation. I'm using this to demonstrate that black people are collectively inadequate, more so black men. Right? It's a banner. So what are you doing? I'm highlighting that we're collectively inadequate. That offends me. Good. Do something about it. That's the technique. And they go, you offend me when you tell the truth. Do something about it. You see, this is the campaign. Now I could go around calling names and go, he goes around calling names. I'm not calling names. I'm highlighting that in our politicians, not one of them has married a black woman. Not one of them. And they go, well, does any of them do anything for black people? No, sir. Pattern. Okay.
But
yeah. You see?
I'll be honest. So I think even if they normally, when you get to these type of level, it wouldn't even matter if they're married to a black woman or not, because they would still be set up. Look at Barack Obama, like they would still be set up. They wouldn't be helping black people anyway.
Yeah, and that's why and I was going to play a video. Let me play a video just to demonstrate that. Yeah, I'm going to jump on another video that Brother Dominic gave me as well. But so this is a perfect demonstration. Let me pause it for 4 seconds.
Not for black people, but
so basically, obviously, you know, we're always 7 steps ahead. In America, they've got the president election coming on, and there's a lady of a father is Jamaican, and her mother is, I think, Indian. And what's happened is this is like, and she's a woman as well. So there's a lot of buzz out. This woman can be identified as black, and you know, she understands a lot of black stuff, and she listens to black music, whatever, right? So this is a big thing. You can have black women in the White House, whatever, right? Yes, she's married to a white man, whatever. But what I'm saying is, all that's one thing, but where you want to be now is policy. Is this person going to do anything for black people? So I know it's nice to see a black person in high spaces. Yes, good to see them marry black women and black men. Beautiful. But if they're not doing policies, then it's almost a deception. It's like you're black for nothing. Yeah, you're black because you look good, but you're not actually going to do anything that's beneficial. Yeah, so let's listen to this for 4 seconds.
She has been able to do specifically for the AAPI community, Asian American Pacific Islanders. Kamala Harris has allocated $1.2 billion to the AAPI community to help fund banks, small business, and other ventures that Asian Americans want to do here in America.
Special roundtable discussion specifically for Asian American business owners during her visit today. ABC 7 News reporter Suzanne Fawn talked to one owner about what small businesses need right now.
Inside San Francisco's Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory, you'll see a lot of history.
Fortune cookies are American product. It's a San Francisco invention.
And a lot of freshly baked treats.
We have to pull each cookie by hand.
Owner Kevin Chan says it takes long hours and a lot of hard work to run his 6-year-old business. The COVID emergency may be over in California, but Chan's business and many others in San Francisco's Chinatown are still hurting. That's what a few of them told Vice President Kamala Harris today.
Chinatown community needs a lot of help. Chinatown actually got hit the most and recovered the latest.
Chan told the VP,
as the AAPI business owners, we struggle.
So she was able to tell the AAPI business owners to meet with her, and they were able to tell her.
Okay, so that I'm trying to demonstrate there that the sister Kamala, she said she will never do anything for just black people, or African Americans, but specifically, right? And this is the question towards reparations. Some that the only black people have never been paid reparations. Everyone else will pay reparations, right? But yet she can do Asian business, Pacific Island business, LGBT business. She can do Israel business, whatever. She can do all that, and she can use the name. But black people, of course, are not going to help just black people, and that's because black people are not unified, organized, and actually on the rise. Whatever, it's just whatever, right? So I'm saying that this starts the code, and the code is being black is beautiful. Being married to a black person, even great. But if you've got no policies, you're not going to get a vote. Yeah. And that's how it should trickle into most things. You have a B1 mentality. Yeah, you have a B1 mentality. Now I'm gonna play a video just to demonstrate black men being conquered that brother Dominic gave me. Where is it? Clip. I think this one. Hold on. Oh, it's one of these. Is it compressed? Nope. Is that one? Yeah, it's just this.
Why do you struggle to date a girl in Africa then? Why do you struggle? Because I told you, it's beyond money. It's a social thing. I am gone. Why do I struggle? I'll tell you why I struggle. The reason why you struggle is because you can't handle a black woman. Fam. I can't handle a black woman.
So this topic was something like the black men, something about black men dating black women, something like that. I can't remember the title.
That's just what it is. That's the main reason.
Gabs, he's on you! He's on you! Gabs, don't take that, bro! Don't have that!
Okay, it sounds harsh, but you can't handle a black woman. Good. What makes you think I can't handle a black woman? Because you can't. Everything you've said right now.
But he's talking about Nigerian. He said in Nigeria, though.
Yeah.
He said only in Nigeria.
Let me skip this over. It's there we go. Here it's started. That was a prequel. Yeah, there you go.
I wish Abigail was here.
First of all, round of applause. Firstly, I just want to say, dark-skinned girls, you are so beautiful. You are melanin queens.
So those who couldn't hear that, she read out a question that said, why is it that when black men get rich, they don't be with dark-skinned black women? Especially dark-skinned black men.
You're the Nubian queens. We love you all equally to sometimes a preferred white girl or lighter shaded girl. That's my opinion.
You already black, bro. Stop trying to beg the blacks.
So what we're seeing here is I think the brother there, I don't know if he's Caribbean or wherever, I don't know where he's from. He did an on-code thing. He said, we love black women. He did the speech, and this is what I've seen online as well. Another brother will jump in and say you're simping or you don't need to do all that kind of stuff. And naturally, when someone says that to me, that means I'm allowed to use my full intellectual force to make them, just second whatever, right? And that's what I recommend whenever anyone tries to use up manosphere talker's point. Let them know that you're using a white supremacist talking point. And that's why all the philosophy, the people who are high in that realm are anti-black. And there's back-to-back case studies of the anti-blackness they spew. The ideology comes from being anti-black, and you are promoting that. So once again, you are unsynchronized and you are conquered. You are not amongst the conquerors, you're amongst the conquered. And we like I said, we split black people into two categories: those who are loved and those who are important. Let's break that down. Those who are loved, meaning you're black, and we love black people, so you are loved. That's your birth concept. And there are those who are important. So we can say, even though you're loved, you're not important. And that's the truth. Now, that's what this brother said. Listening.
They know you black, man. Trying too hard to kiss ass. White girls could get their hair wet.
Bro, some of these guys might be a comedian, and he said some white girls can get their hair wet. Once again, the the whole hair thing, we have to have a real kind of discussion of how to talk about the hair stuff. It really is a deep-rooted history and double meaning, blah, blah, blah. But it's something that black men need to really understand. But once again, we can push it into black men and said, why are you not owning media where you're representing black women in different kind of styles and comfortabilities? Why are you not owning industry where you are selling black hair products? Blah, 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 blah. That's what we should be doing. Once again, always put it on the man. Because why? Men are meant to be leaders. Women are allowed to lead, but men have to lead. Remember that dynamic. Women can lead if they want, but men have to lead. You see? Let's bring it down.
The main reason why men in the industry, in that space, go for girls that are lighter skin is because
I'm just going to mute you for a bit, brother. You're kicking the mic. But what I'm going to say is very important now. This brother's going to explain why. I remember we were talking about black men being conquered. Remember, very important. Black men are conquered. He's going to explain why it happened. This is his understanding.
Industry. I think any industry, athletes, musicians, any sort of
Entertainment.
fame,
Upper
to be honest,
echelon.
yeah.
So like
I think
entertainment
it's because they are probably more marketable online. Me personally,
Wait, what? Hold on.
So what he's saying is, when it comes to picking a wife, a person you're going to impregnate, a person who's going to take half of your wealth, and I've heard this before, and I've heard it many years since the old days. The daughter of a white man is more marketable than the daughter of a black man. You see, and you know remember when they say love has no color? It's the quite opposite now. So now love does have a color. The love doesn't mean anything. It's now about finance. So when you say marry because of economics, but they now have an economic concept, right? But their economic concept is benefit for the Europeans.
Did you say marketable or marketable?
Let him land.
Marketable.
That's what he said.
No, I said
Once again, this is conquered mentality. Very conquered.
marketable.
What did you hear?
I heard marketable. You heard that?
It's like the E was kind of skipped.
I'm just saying. I'm just.
Me, I heard
I'm with you.
marketable.
I'm a
It's your
Nigerian
ears.
boy, so man, marketable. You get the concept.
Kill me now.
You know, so yeah, they're more marketable. You know, and they're more appealing online. You know, to advert sponsors, there was all that kind of stuff. Me personally, I like my African black girls, you know, so I'm not really.
Africa is not really dark though, with his hand.
They're more appealing. Why is that they're more appealing? I don't think that they're more appealing. I think that's the illusion that's been created that they're more appealing.
Society's
because
fault.
you
Yeah,
said it's more appealing.
Remember, we're
for
trying to
me-
demonstrate that black men are conquered in the UK. It's very important. That's a very important campaign that we're going to be promoting. And I want to challenge black men, especially the rappers and the intellectual podcasters and anyone, the Pan-Africans or anyone who disagrees with the concept. And this is a demonstration of that. You will not see this conversation in other communities where they're trying to explain why they love the daughters of another man so much. It's really, you don't understand. It's because you make more money and that's what it's just about. It's like like once again, that's why we need concepts. Like here's a concept you have to remember: the concept of ancestral obligation. How do you put that in the context? You're Raven. Why don't you marry a white woman so when you're a famous person, you could be on the magazines and you could be a power couple because white is right with the light and might. Cool. Well, the thing is, I practice ancestral obligations. What's that? Well, because my ancestors were murdered and killed by the Europeans and the Arabs, whatever, right? Because that's what was happening, and no one's paying reparations, and the legacy of that were in a bad way. When that was happening, the black woman was the one who was actually maintaining, keeping it real, and looking after the family stuff, right? So the obligation is to fix my community first, because I know that others don't love my community, including the one that you want me to marry, because she'll never support reparations and she'll never sign a bill saying that, yes, I'm going to marry you, but my sister will get all my inheritance for black betterment purposes. They never will, you see? So because of that, we have ancestral obligations. Ancestral obligations. Usually when you go out there, you cannot vacate from the mission because your parents and your ancestors, your forefathers were brutally murdered. The men in your family were killed, and they could do nothing about it. And the women were impregnated and brutalized, and we could do nothing about it. Our nations were conquered. We could do nothing about it. And then when they realized it was wrong, They never said reparations or let's actually rectify this. They said love has no color. Marry into our group. That's your reward. You can give us back the economics. We're going to build trains in your nations, not to get you around, but to give the resources back to us. So I'm saying if you use these terms, you'll be okay. All right. So let's
There's sister Empress Kush in the back, brother.
I don't think she's there. I can't see it. Oh, she got a second name. No. Hold on. One, two, remove.
It says knock.
Hold on. How long ago was that?
11:32.
Oh,
She
yeah.
gone back up.
Sister, come back in. We definitely want to hear a woman's perspective. But I was going to play. We're still playing the video, aren't we? And I'm actually.
No, hold on. But they're saying it's another video. Dominic says it's the next video.
Yeah, he sent me. So I'm going to play this while I download that, and then we're going to, because this is demonstrating black men being conquered. It's very important.
I like to see this. So I think it's an
And also, what I want you to know, and this is very important, you tend to find, yes, there's many worldly, unsynchronized black women. We understand this, right? But pound for pound, black women seem to, in massive numbers, understand the importance of black families and understand the importance of black economics, right? They understand it. And this is, obviously, there's definitely a historical target of the black man that makes the black man, useless, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm saying is there needs to be a recognition that you are in error and you need to look to the light, to get out of error. And that's why you need to be synchronized. You need to work as a collective unit, By the way, let's carry on playing while I download these videos.
That's been created for everybody to kind of like gear towards white girls or light-skinned females.
Yeah, but that's
not coming.
Even for guys, that's how it started back in the day when we were young. Yeah, when we were young.
But you know what? I can agree with what both of you said to an extent because I grew up in Essex, so the black guys then they were more to the mixed race girls, the white girls, because it's fucked, but it looked more appealing than a black guy being with a black girl. Because back then we had single plaits, we had like we just dressed different to how a white girl would typically dress.
Nah, but that's the era you're from though. That's
no,
Essex.
because even when I've
like,
met
remember,
like,
majority
certain
of people in
now
Essex.
and certain industries, they like a lot of guys say to me, they prefer white girls, light-skinned girls, or whoever because black girls are too handful, or black girls are this or that. It's always something negative, and I think men tend to go for other races because they feel like they can manage them better.
Remember, your goal is to demonstrate that black men are collectively inadequate, and you do that by showing the reaction and response of black men versus other men, and you place black men in an inferior position, and you say, brother, the Palestinians are being bombed at the moment. Yes, did you know this? Oh yeah, they're not best pleased with that. No, sir. Can you find me a Palestinian man who's telling me he's destined to marry a Jewish woman or an Israeli woman, just so I can see him? Or you can go, well, let's even go further. Can you find me a German, a Jewish person who is destined to marry a German person? As we know, when the Nazis were murdering the Jewish people in that time of the war, we understand that some of the Jewish women, their heart was with themselves and they wanted to save themselves. So they would then try to sleep with the generals in the army and try to, to sleep with them and be with them so they get less or get more rations and get less punishment. After the war happened, what did they do? They took a blade and they cut all the women's hair off and they walked them down in shame. Go Google it. So this is how serious these other communities take this kind of behavior. Not black men, no sir. Black men, as soon as the law passed, let us dash the cash to the white. Let's go immediately. Let's carry on listening.
Oh, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but
that's true.
Yeah,
black women tend to be more handful than other.
What do you mean by handful?
It's not a bad thing.
He's not saying it in a bad way. He's not saying it in a bad way.
These guys are saying that white girls are easier to manage. Manage in what sense? A lot of these men think that if they go for a white woman, that means it's less stress, it's less this, or it's a better advantage. We're all women at the end of the day. We're just different shades. So I could be a white.
Once again, the black men are too comfortable with this narrative. Let's say that the narrative is true. Can you imagine a Palestinian man just saying, look, man, I'm going to marry a Israeli woman because, when the bombs are flying off, you keep on panicking and stuff. You get me? You keep panicking and all these sorts. And I know the Israeli woman just wouldn't panic like that. I'm going to marry an Israeli woman. That's what I'm going to do. Can you imagine that? My goodness. My goodness.
Person tomorrow, and I can still give you the same problems as a black woman would. It just doesn't change anything. It's not based on my skin color.
It's true. Black women are more of a, and I've dated white girls, I've dated mixed race girls, and I tend to have more stress
with a black woman.
With a black woman.
But the thing
How?
is, wait, hold on.
So, but stress is not a positive word, though.
Because it could be the
I
like
think it's
the
probably
way.
because like I don't know why that is, but I think it's just a fact.
I want to know
It's not just
why.
my I think a lot of guys can agree as well. That's why a lot of guys are scared to
No,
date
but the
black
thing
women.
is, yeah, I don't want to be rude, but
Nah, this guy's wild.
Scared is a big. That's a strong word. Well, I'm speaking for the. Okay, so what is it a coincidence that most celebrities are with lions? Is it a coincidence?
You think it's most?
It's not a coincidence at all.
Most? Yes, it is most.
I think in general.
Name all of them. They're all lighties.
So when they say lighties, it's the opposite darkies. It's a very interesting term. It's a term. It was a term I remember first hearing it where black men, especially dark-skinned black men, but also white men who wanted to be black or whatever, they would use this term lighties to describe the most preference in the black community. So the hierarchy would be ambiguous. Then it would be having one black parent. Then it would be a light-skinned black person. This kind of with two black parents, right? This is what they say lighties. And more so, they're probably talking about racially ambiguous, kind of light skin, like it's almost like off-white kind of. This is how the mindset would work, and it's still today. I've even heard white rappers use these terms because black rappers allow them. Because what's the buzzword? Black men are conquered, especially in the UK, particularly in the UK. And hopefully, I'm demonstrating this with the way that this is a black chat. This is black people speaking, and no values placed on the black woman, absolutely none. And then it's just what it is. The daughter of the colonizer, the daughter of the white man, whatever. This is where it's all at. You guys are too much trouble. Once again, you guys could be arguing. I say, here's the solution. Ask the daughter of the European, do you support reparations to Africa or the Caribbean or black people? You will see 1,000 Europeans get on cold. One from Germany, one from France, one from Spain, one from the UK, and they might be at war galore. But as soon as you ask, what about reparations? No, excuse me, you wicked man, you brute, you. That happened so long ago. That's what they're going to say. Do I think we're going to get reparations? No, sir. It's a tool. You're trying to demonstrate to the unsynchronized black man, the conquered black man, that you have no friends. And the beloved you love tremendously, who is your very best, she will drop you in an instant if you go against the code. What do you mean? Give you money from the reserves to pay your country? Are you mad? Come on. We're gonna bring Empress Kush back on. Sister, we missed you. You've come back on. Now's your time to shine.
Betterment family.
Betterment all.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the conversation. I think I've got a question that I asked a bit earlier on. So, what is the plan in dealing with these men who, in the UK, who demonstrate this behaviour?
I think delineation is open delineation, and we were talking to our brother just now, as in what the words look like how do we delineate, how do we shun this kind of behavior. It's about creating groups or elitism groups and having certain kind of principles, and we're saying bro, we don't mess with conquered men in it. At the end of the day, you're doing the bidding of the white man more than he ever had to do. And you're going to America and these kind of places to do it, right? So it's about letting them know when you see them, when you go in their pub. I do all the time, bro. I do all the time when I meet someone. I bring up the unsynchronization if they haven't corrected it, and go well until you correct that. We can't really hang out. We can't really be on the same kind of thing. And there's many people I need to meet and do that with, to be honest. Yeah, and obviously we unsubscribe, as brother's saying in the boycott them. Don't subscribe to their products or their podcast, sorry, and don't watch them. Yeah, that's a very important thing. That's a very underrated method, as in you're seeing that your viewership has changed because you've dissed black women. Yeah, that's very like I've
Because
said it.
obviously they don't have no allegiance to their own.
They have no allegiance.
They don't have no race pride. They're doing it for the money, right? So
Mm.
then, if you want to hurt them, then you cut off the one money, because
Yes.
that's the only thing that they care about. Clearly, they'll
Yes.
sell themselves out for money. So
Let me. So there's a war going on in the video game community at the moment, right? And it's between uh, the feminism and LGBT community and the traditional, I guess, suspected white supremacists and white guys, whatever. And what it is they've now got power and finance where they're just putting homosexual characters and they're making certain characters black and gay and stuff like this. And what they're doing is they're just getting on cold and they're just not buying the games, even if they like the franchise. And they've successfully shut down Sony's. They got a game called Concord. I've seen that the other day, and this game cost, I think it was 200 million to make. Took 6 years to make, and because the characters were LGBT, this kind of stuff, they didn't support it. And within 2 weeks, the game was taken off the shelf. Yeah, so they don't play when it comes to getting on cold to sabotage people's pockets. And remember, isn't that they really don't like the LGBT whatever, which they don't whatever. It's more so they're replacing white straight men with these other black women and lesbian women and a man who identifies as this and that, and they're like, we're having none of it. We're having none of it. We want to see white straight men who shoot black people in our games immediately, and that's what they got. That's what they want, and that's what they're gonna get. They're gonna get it because they hit people with their pockets. Go look that up. Concord campaign. Look it up. You'll find out. Anyway,
I think there was something. I saw a few good reviews on this actually. That's the only time I heard about it, just by seeing people that I normally follow review it. It was interesting that it actually like went worldwide and internationally, but now I know why, because they went on that guy's channel who's American and
yes,
a known racist.
Yes.
And they were saying it was quite interesting to hear the aspect of other people in the diaspora listening to these guys and commenting about how weak they looked in regards to just laughing, and the excuse of saying that, I was just in a state of shock when this happened. Like, this is like it was some sort of life or death incident. The man disrespected your culture and disrespected your women. You didn't know what to do in that point.
Man.
It was so dreadful that you was in a state of shock and things like that. It was just so pathetic. So I think, definitely seeing how the world sees it is similar to how we see it, was just, again, like a form of embarrassment that I shouldn't hold because I've got nothing to do with these people, but they were Black British.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was like shameful. And there was another review, and actually on that comment as well, there was a guy, it's a black guy, he's a black UK guy actually. One of the very, very few people who tends to make a lot of sense when he's reviewing things, but I just can't, for the life of me, think of his name. And he was doing a review, and the American person was reviewing his review. And up to a point, she was saying that he's got good points where he was analysing, similar to like some of the stuff that was happening today about the issue. But he fell short for her when, at the end, he wrapped it up with saying, well, in general, I think these are good guys, and I hope they change or something. I'll be supportive. I'll be rooting for them. There's no harsh feelings like that, and I just kind of think that that's the problem as well. There's just no absoluteness. Like, even when saying things like, okay, don't support his channel, things like that. In the UK, that'll be looked as, I think within our community in the UK, it'd look like you're taking food out of the man's mouth for something that they don't even see the importance of, or how offensive that was. Because I feel like when you're a grown man talking about, I didn't know that I can offend my own culture, and I didn't know what to do, things like this, I think it's a demonstration of how lost actual adult men are. There's like a big proportion of adult men who are really like lost in regards to self-awareness, awareness of culture, and race pride.
Conquered.
And the fact that their representation, even though they think, quote, like this humanitarian thing is such an illusion that they legit thought that they could go onto a racist channel and just be one of them, like we're all humans.
But
And not
sister,
understanding that there's undertones in here.
we
Like,
saw this though, don't we, sister? With unfortunately the brother Sarah and his introduction of the European
Paul,
lady. Yeah, it's a similar dynamic. Similar dynamic.
absolutely.
It's the
And
same.
it's like, and this is what I'm saying, because someone like Sarah, I have absolute, and this is what I mean. I think up to today, when it comes to Sarah, I didn't believe him whatsoever, because you started off as a Garveyite.
Mm.
You started off knowing the principle of Garveyism. You understand about representation. You understand about the intric dynamics, right? And then you go and do that.
Mm.
So this is up to that point, I didn't believe it. But hearing these guys now,
Yeah.
I know that this can be an excuse, and that it very well could be. There's literally a part of me now. I don't know if that's a form of me losing kind of a form of respect, or just realizing that there's just a new breed out there that genuinely does start to feel that they genuinely do have a loss of understanding their awareness.
Yeah, of course.
And genuinely been, this propaganda has worked so hard on them that
Yeah.
they genuinely believe we're all human. Like as mad as it is, I'm really starting to believe that these people believe it. Like, no matter the amount of examples they live through to
Yeah.
show them the dynamics and where they position in the world, they literally don't see it.
Sister, what you're saying
Like,
is important. The reason it's important is because it's what's spearheading what I'm saying, and that
but
is
do you believe that they don't, like, because you see with Sarah, I don't believe that. Sarah and
so it's
Sarah is
different.
of our age group, bro.
Yeah,
So
so,
how old? But these are what I'm saying. These are not even.
you know,
How
yeah,
old are these
I
two?
assume they must be in their 20s. 20s.
But this is what I'm saying. So why is there such a big shift within 10 years, roughly difference?
The thing is, it is a form of being conquered. You don't understand. It's like the black need is not of high nature. It's like other people's needs are high nature. It's like they got, like I said, these is bad man rappers I'm talking to, and I use the terms like pro-black, and they're like, pro-black is wrong because it means you're only focusing on black people, and they sincerely mean this. Like it's almost like they know selling drugs is wrong to the black community. They know shooting people is wrong. They know beating people up is wrong. They don't swear, whatever. They all know it's wrong, right? And they've done it. They do it, right? But what's more wrong than that is coming together with just black people to fix black issues. This is the wrongest of wrong because it's racist. I am called a racist by black roadmen. Like it's like
So you believe that there is, that they exist where they just have no notion of it.
yes, as in like we showed an example in South Africa, and that's a very important case
But you
study.
know, bro, that there's people that do. Like Sarah definitely doesn't fold under
Listen.
that mold.
Let me
Sarah
give you.
is
Hold on.
a old school, like a black and white textbook setup, because he knows better. Whereas,
well, hold on. Yeah, but I would say this. I would say this about. I mentioned before you came on, and that is money. Yeah, as in like there are people they want to make it in music, podcasting, or acting, or something. Yeah, where in the UK it's a much smaller market, right? And they want to live off it. Now, because of that, they compromise automatically compromise, because if they make music, they have to make sure it caters to this kind of group, and they can't offend that kind of group. And because it's such a small market, they have to do that. Brother Sarah, I put him in that market. He could say
right, but they
wrong.
know better, but they
Yeah,
chose
they
the
know, but
money.
yes, definitely.
Right,
Yeah,
and we know them. They're the textbook. I'm saying, is there a new breed that
yes, there's a new
literally?
breed where in their eyes they generally believe that if black people work together, it's racist. If you it's almost a problem for you to love your own group in isolation, and this is from man to woman concepts now, right? It's seen as wrong. Like a better man is a man. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen.
Okay, but listen, but okay, hold on, bro, because you see, there's a part there, yeah, that when you watch the clip, yeah, oh, like even that clip's offensive where they're apologizing, right? There's a point there where they say something like, you know, we know what we don't want to be them guys that don't protect black women. They said something like that.
Right.
Like, we know what's going, like, as in, we know the climate of black women, we know they're not protected, and we don't want to be them guys. You understand? There was a point of something like that, which made me think that the marketing with black women, that, like, again, I applaud black women, again, is done so well that finally you don't want to have, there's something where you don't want to have that attachment as a black man. You know that attachment of being anti-black woman is not as cool as it was before, unfortunately. I'm not saying acceptable, you know, I'm saying cool. Because I feel like it was acceptable and it was almost cool with all of the, you know, the neaky, kind of cringy passport bros and incel and Samuel. Before all of that, they publicly just humiliated themselves and they weren't affiliated with it. Right? So I feel like now, like I was saying before, like the trend is that is, they've realized that that's not cool. So if you know that, then you must understand the dynamics of that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I can give them that they have no clue. But like, the more that this goes on, don't know if I can hold that. Like, it just doesn't seem. I just don't know if I
You
can
don't have to
believe
give.
that there's a whole, like, they just. I just don't believe
You
that they
don't
can
have
have
to give
no
mercy.
understanding, bro. Do
But
you
sis,
understand that? I
let
just,
me, let me,
and
let me
10
see if I
years
can help.
difference.
Let me see if I can help. Regardless of what we say, you never have to give mercy to, even if they're, because the assumption would be if someone doesn't know something, they cannot be blamed. But I'm saying they can be blamed. And what that means is, I'm saying that there is a hierarchy in their mind of what's important. Yeah. So even though they generally don't, they generally when they generally say, yeah, black love, you know, love everyone, whatever it is, right? The reason why they can say that is because they have a low opinion on black things. Yeah. And they're aware. Yeah, they're aware of it. For example, when the man's asking, do you prefer white or black? It isn't the black woman's care that they care about. It's the white woman's care. You understand? Yeah. Like for them to say, I'm a black man and a black woman, this would be an abomination in their mind because they're making the white woman,
alienates the people that they have reverence for.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? Someone speak up. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, bro. Do you remember when back in the day when Kid and Play, there was, what's it called? Burn Hollywood. Do you remember that tune?
I remember Kid and Play, but who's Burn Hollywood? What's that?
No, there was a tune. Burn Hollywood. Burn.
I'll have to hear it again.
Big Daddy Kane. There was a whole, like, they all, I think even Ice Cube, like, it was loads of rappers. Right.
Bro, you've got someone in the back. You've had someone in the back.
Razors in the back, bro.
5 minutes.
He's back. Yeah, he's back.
So what my point was, I remember Kid and Play, or Play, which one was it? No, Kid said, well, you could do it that way, as in burn it to the ground, or you could go into it and try and change it from inside. And this idea of them making it, becoming famous, and then once they're famous and wealthy, they've always been given this idea that they can change things once they've got there. But it's never worked because the plan is always, they've already got that thing sorted out. If you think you're going to go into their arena, which they've created and got every corner and door, window shut and locked according to the way they want it. This, I think those guys were thinking in that way. In other words, they may be aware.
Well, hold on. The thing is, you have to show me some kind of high education where they understand a kind of like black liberation or black Pan-Africanism or something. Like if you said that about what's the name, Akala, them kind of guys who their parents forced them to go to Pan-African schools, right? So there's a certain knowledge, right? These guys, I can't see that. I don't know them. You might know them more than me, but by the way they're using, like the words people use tells
They
you
said
a lot
that they
about
weren't
them.
even born in London apparently as well. Like they're from outside London.
Yeah. So and that another thing, people who are born in highly white areas, they're more likely to be broken in the sense of they're trying to fit in and they'll do anything to fit in. Sometimes you get the rebels, people who just hate everyone because of it, but more time than not, you get like, I'm happy to change my hair, bleach my skin, not talk this or not eat this food or not dress
Yeah.
this way to fit in. Now we've got a life, years and years of that can make someone have a self-hatred that they don't even recognize the self-hatred.
Yeah.
Our
I
people.
wouldn't say that they wouldn't know then. I just would say that this is the definition of what our elders used to say when someone's too far gone.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they're deep in the
No,
trench.
No, but brother, you're looking at. Remember, these lot have set up a lot of black people in. I remember when they set up Bobby Brown and they asked him if he was like an LGBT back in the day. He didn't expect that to come up. They always do that. So it seems what they're saying is this caught them off guard. However, because they're not pro-black at the forefront of their mind, then they don't have an instinctual response to say who you disrespecting, or do you know what I mean? They don't have that instinctually, so they're in shock. And they're like, well, we didn't come here for this, and what do we say? Let's just have the uncomfortable giggle.
The thing is, though, brother, I'm so kind of extreme in certain ways that yes, it would be nice if when these brothers here are disrespect to a black woman, they're on it 100%. But before that even happened, the way they're cackling and the way they're describing their, I think, let me play some of this stuff here because I think, brother.
yeah, but bro, even the caught off guard, right? If your mother is black, like this is what I'm saying about our people. Like the man didn't went for one black woman because you could get away with that crap, right? Especially if you don't care about your own. But the man disrespected black women. If a black man did that to the white man and disrespected all black women, all white women, he'd think of his mother, he'd think of his sister. It's not an off guard thing, it's an on guard thing. It's a man thing. Like, what are we
That's
doing
what I'm
here?
saying.
Like, there's always excuses for them. Like, there's always excuses for these sellouts. Like, you go onto a known racist channel. What man goes across? What two men go across seas? Doesn't do their marketing research
no
and sits on a panel. You all you had to do was tap that man in once. You'd know what he's about. Now you're surprised that he's doing what? Trying to corner you and get an aha moment, get a trend moment off of you to do what he does normally, which is to get black men to diss black women, i.e. Charlemagne. Like this is what I'm saying. We always give
So he's done that before, is he?
Loose, and we tippy toe around things like this, but other things within our community we have a zero tolerance for. Like it is literally so weak.
So is everyone saying this is what the guy always does? He disses black women. This because I don't even know.
Yeah. So the white guy, who looks kind of like a far right kind of dude, whatever. He makes.
I thought he was Jewish. Is he not Jewish?
I don't think
he's a bit Jewish, but he's a race. Like it's not. It's like this is known. Like there's been so
he's an
many.
antagonist,
Like,
he's a white. Well, I don't know. He's a suspected white supremacist by the comedy he does. But either or. Yeah, it's really gone peak. He said things before. He's Charlemagne's top friend. He's been called out by other like pro-black people in like here and there. He's been called a suspected white supremacist. He isn't Jewish, I've been told.
What's going on in your life?
What? Do you know what I mean?
You're white, fam.
You're white.
You're winning.
Okay, so this is them talking. So they obviously married. They obviously date a plethora of European women, and they're talking about one of their experiences. And this is one of them. I think one of the European women that they dated wanted to be black for a reason.
What's going on in your life?
What? Do you know what I mean?
You're white, fam.
You're white.
You're winning. You've won the game.
You're out here. You're just out here white, just with all the rights to you. And you want to be black. I'm not saying there's obviously nothing wrong with being black. I love being black. But like the fact that you...
What are you seeing that you're not experiencing? Like what are you seeing?
Exactly.
What's so greener over here? Like what is greener that you're thinking, I'm missing out?
It blew my mind. It blew my mind. Obviously, there was no negative effects on me per se, because I still after that comment. Yeah. But it's like, when she said that to me, I was thinking, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't react the way I'm reacting now.
Yeah.
That's her issue. That's her problem.
Yeah.
I'll let her deal with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You just want that nut.
I just wanted that sweet walls. I got them walls pre and post. Crazy.
oh my god, this is what I was saying. Blatantly outside London, and then again, this is what I mean. They know the dynamics about race when it suits them.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Just absolute So, like, and this is why I keep asking, like,
Mhm.
why are these now? Like, is this okay? Like, are black men in the UK okay with this being their representation?
Her
Because
name
this is
is.
all that's getting churned out constantly with no pushback.
It doesn't matter anyways.
I mean, me personally, like I
It's
said,
so
I only.
shocking.
Let me just mute someone. I think someone's bathing. Hold on, brother. Let me just mute that before
Well, who's in the?
you might be okay. Maybe he's washing his hands. Let me just mute you for a bit, bro. Yeah. So, when I went speakers corner, I'm sad to say that I never saw that much difference in some of the brothers there, in the sense of they read books and stuff, but if anything, the reading the books made them even more anti-black. Like they had crusades against Marcus Garvey, crusades against Malcolm X. You know what I mean? It's just so I don't know.
He said it made them even worse, bro.
It made it work. Yeah, like it's like they got a bit of knowledge. Like I said, like they were very anti that. They were, you know, it's an eye opener, but I was aware of it. But
And do you know what? A very wise brother, wise into the works of Marcus Garvey, told me, that stuck in my head. He said, as much as like the strong of us survived, which is like the strongest of us must have had to survive for our lineage for us to be alive now,
yeah,
as well as the most craftiest sellouts had to have
of course,
survived as well.
of course.
Had survival, right? Because they chucked a number of us under the bus, and their generations are still among us.
Yes, and that's why people ask me who am I allowed to marry, and I use this terms. I say descendants of enslaved Africans and glad Africans, and I make a distinction between glad Africans and sad Africans, right? And because what that means is I'm aware that there was selling out, going out here and there, right? I'm aware of that, but it's hard to know who's who. So you can only judge a
Literally.
person by their spirit. So if a person shows you a good spirit, we can call them glad. If a person tries to harm you, and as I would identify in Speaker's Corner, a lot of the brothers there, this is the sad spirit. You can't build with those guys, yeah, because they're too far gone. They're so injected in poverty that they will sell you out. They will immediately.
Absolutely. It's like it's not even an if, it's a when.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, because I do, I'm sure the secrecy and the stuff I do, and it's part of the work I do. But what I've seen behind the scenes when it comes to like untrustworthy behavior, it's a rap already. It's a rap already. Yeah, it's why I part of my ideology is to be alone. Yeah, because if you stand too close to certain people, then you have to go to war for their errors, right? And that's why we push the code over individuals.
But she was on a TV show. I can't remember what TV show it was called actually. And this girl that I was used to watch that TV show, and she was like, "Oh, there was this girl that because she wants mixed race kids. Like her heart is set on it, so she wants a black."
So that's another thing. And what might be actually even better as well is if maybe let me show you, because what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make a propaganda campaign to make black men collectively conquered in the UK. That is, it's very important, and it's part of the campaign.
I just find it so fascinating. Like he could just say that, okay, like you're literally just a buck in 2024. Like just to be used as someone to just give her mixed race kids, like you're literally just you looked at as a piece of meat.
Yes.
And it's like, as a man and everything that's supposed to historically like encompass like your pride, the manhood and all of that, to be just resulted as that to the point where she could just openly say, yeah, I want mixed race babies. Like, that's why you're here right now. It's not for the protection. It's not for that you're known for protecting. It's not known that you're known for your wealth. It's not known that you're known for like looking after your kids and being them great men. And you're just, do you know what I mean? Like, I just want the trend. I just want a mixed race, but that is all you are good for. Do you know what I mean? And at no point in anything in that body triggers any manhood to be like, this ain't right. Do you understand? Like, this is a problem. Like, if anything, he's actually saying it on a podcast
Yeah.
See, he has no shame in it. Like he's not even.
Yes.
This is what I'm saying. Like we're so
Yeah.
gone, we don't even understand how the shame. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
they can't even put it in a
crazy.
joke form. Like they can't even do embellishments where they go, "Well, what crazy! This woman, she's trying to, trying to be with me for what a weirdo! My goodness!" If someone's like, "Whoa, I'm in luck," it looks like she's desperately going to have me tonight. Is that kind of stuff,
Literally.
right? Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. But it's going to get worse, obviously, because the algorithm has sent me down a rabbit hole, and I've got back-to-back videos of black people, black women and men, but more so men, we're focusing on. Promoting either they're married to a European, they've got kids with one black parent, and they're racial showcasing it, or they're in the streets and they're talking to white women about what they like. But what's important is the consistency of the comment section, and that is a plethora of Europeans saying you're, and I guess they're saying what Thingy's doing, what Brother Ethan was talking about, where they're actively insulting and saying you've destroyed the bloodline, do not come to my country, you're a sellout, and it's in the truckloads, and then that is then coupled next to black men saying, oh, I wouldn't mind, like so. You see what I'm saying?
God.
At one point, you're having the plethora of white men saying, "You're a disgraced woman. How dare you?" Whatever, and the black men like, "Thank you, white woman, for this, acknowledgement. This is the best thing the world will ever know." And we're gonna look at that now. Let me just listen to this for a second, and then we'll carry on.
Black man. That's all she goes for.
Yeah,
black men. And there's this girl that she used to watch on a TV show who was obviously black. She was like, "Oh, I wish I was her." I'm thinking, what?
Jesus Christ.
She kept on saying, "Oh, I wish I was black. I wish I was black." I'm thinking,
Jesus Christ.
What?
For starters, if you was black, you wouldn't be getting any black men. So I'm just saying.
There was another joke. She's saying that if you were actually a black woman, you wouldn't. So what I'm saying is the apologies
So
they
he
give
might as
you.
well have just been. He's doing exactly the same as what he said. He didn't understand what was going on in the couch.
Of course. Well, listen, I'm not trying to shock the sisters or the brothers, right? You have to understand how it's almost like you have to view black people how people view homeless people. You see, where it doesn't matter how you treat them because of low status. You see, so there's an expectation that a black person should just take abuse. Like you should be the butt of the joke because you are in the inferior position. So yes, I should be able to make fun of black women because out of all the women, you are the least desirable. You see, this is the mindset.
This is why we have the issue we have.
The least defended.
Well,
it's not. This is what I'm saying. These things are not like. Why is this happening? Like I don't understand. Like, isn't this obvious? Like,
yeah,
this is not.
The
it's
least.
Not.
What
I
brother
understand
said
when people act confused, but I did have it. Did you want to say something on that, bro?
I'll quickly say that when brother said least defended, it's very important that we make the distinction. But also, when we talk about women talking to men, the reason why you are the least defended, the least desired, is because of the lack of work of black men. Black men are not defending you, and black men are not campaigning the beauty standard that you have because your beauty standard is them. Because black men and black women are the same people group. They're not campaigning it. Instead, they jump to other communities and beloving other community standards. But go ahead, sister. You wanted to finish.
But this is why I always do interrupt you on that part, though, bro, because I always tell you that I don't believe in that. I don't believe that statistic no more at all. Absolutely don't. Like I never did before, but I'd always keep quiet. But I have been vocalizing that I don't believe in that statistic. You've just shown a video there that the white woman who is the quote unquote preference and the idealistic, yeah, she's everything, has just said who she wishes that she would be like.
Yes.
Right? She said it openly. She couldn't see a problem with it. She saw all the glory. She spoke with a true heart. It was the black man who was in disbelief.
Of course.
So it's not that black women are this, that, and the other. That's what they are to the black men's sight.
Of course.
So black women are no longer taking on this because we've been saying this. We've been saying that they want to look like us, they want to act like us, but we keep on getting told that we're at the bottom of the total pole. We kept on saying that this oppression kept on happening. We got told that we were jealous, we needed to shut up. So it's now.
Yes.
You see, that's why I always interrupt this thing about, it's not that black women are, it's what certain black men deemed black women are. because we've just
That's
seen that
fine.
his preference has
Mm.
just said what it is, and he
Mm.
was in absolute disbelief that he was saying that. I was like, what doing all of that in front of her, like it's like oh. And then they get angry that their own women don't have any respect for them. I'm supposed to respect that. This is the person supposed to lead. These are the people that we're supposed to trust. And this is why I say it's not any wonder why they get this kind of backlash from their women. Like, because they're not self-hating. They understand what they are. And that is a disgusting embarrassment. And that's why they get what they want. And that's why I say the black men who know better should be supporting the black women in that, instead of giggling and kiki and high-fiving these incels and Samuel Jacksons and passport and just endorsing it to the point now that this is it now. This is the package that you sold. You gave the green light, you let it happen, and now it's sold overseas. And now we've got one after the one of them. So to sit there and act like, how did we get here, is just annoying.
Well, and this is why I say that we can't really. It's not as a forgiveness. Like there has to be a what was it they do in the Jewish community? The not the walk of shame, but the apology tour and that kind of stuff. Like there has to be tangible benefits. Like betraying the community. There should be a pain point. It's like
punishment.
Yeah, it's so hard to get back in the favor because I have to lose money, time, and effort that I'm never
You should
going
be
to
too scared to even try and attempt it.
And that's what it is. But we're gonna still.
I was gonna suggest something though, bro. If you are serious about doing this campaign, that I think that this one will be the hardest hitting. I think you should do it with that exact same energy. I think that it should be that. I forgot what the question was. I don't know if it was a statement or question when you were saying that 99% of UK black men, like it should be that specific, that bold, and say that they are. What is it?
Well, I wrote down the UK black men are conquered and refuse to compete with white men.
Yeah, so 99% of it should be like 99% of UK black men are conquered. Like it should be that, like that should be the going, like the header of the campaign. And then what I suggest is, because you're really good at that and you've got loads of them, is just start clipping the clips. Like clip the clips, bro. Get these clips and put them out there. Just keep pumping these clips and just have an array and a backlog of evidence of what we're going through right now, like what all of us have to go through. Because yes, the black women are sick and tired of it, and it is shocking, and they are sick to the stomach of it. But the good black men out there have to be like as a culture, as a community, this is just, it's not a good look. It's not helping, and it's getting worse. And there is no form of, and this is what I'm saying. I was seeing this. I was seeing this. I know black women around me were seeing this. But for it to go overseas, and the reviews are, where are the backlash? Like, look at this point. Like when I was telling you about the review that came back. Look at this weak review. Like you're saying some good points, and afterwards it's the backstroking of, oh well, they're good guys, and I hope they make it, and they're good. Like there's nothing like firm. There's nothing strong in it, and I think you doing that and doing it in that way, it stops you from personally pointing people out, calling names or whatever, but it's showing photographical evidence. And out here right now, all of this pussyfooting around this certain aspect of our whole community is getting very jarring when we're not pussyfooting around anything else. The evidence is there. You don't even have to say anything. If you just clip that of that fool saying that for those seconds, that speaks volumes. And then the more and more and more and more and more and more, because people are not clearly seeing it. Like, we really have to dummy guide through some people in our community, unfortunately. Like, literally, you've got a whole spreadsheet, bro, because you get the same 10 questions. And people come to you like it's a new question. We've been doing this for years, and we get the same things coming, bro. Like, literally, I don't know how you do it. Yeah. And it's like, at this point, I just think that people need to see it. Like, I don't think we are really aware of how much it is and how bad it is and how the volume of it is. So I think if you start clipping these clips, bro, and putting the hashtag 99% of UK black men are conquered, that would be one of the biggest campaigns thus far, because obviously, you know, they're going to get emotion, you know, it's going to trigger them, and it's going to be the truth, and it's going to open up the real discussions. And no one can say you're lying, because you're giving clips of their own mouth. They're that far gone. They're saying things to incriminate themselves. I'd love to see that, bro. Like, for real, bro. And if you need support on that, I'll definitely help you on that one, because that one will be hard.
We're gonna jump on it. You're gonna see next week. You'll see the first designer iterations. Can you hear this? Let me see it plays. Hold on.
Right.
Did you hear that, family?
No.
No?
I want to ask
Okay.
you something. Would you ever do something where you've got like a table and a chair, and you
Yeah.
would say 99% prove me wrong, where you can video people that sit down with you,
Yeah, of course.
on the street or Leicester Square, wherever,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
ask that question, and then maybe you could play them and give these examples, because one thing you said, notice that I think you mentioned that a roadman called you a racist. Now notice how they associated the disrespect of black women with the gangsterism. So the guys that are trying to be like them LGBT type gangster people, one of the things that comes with that is being anti-black.
Yes.
Or anti-black women, I should say. Do you see what I'm saying? So therefore it's still in their psyche where praising the black woman somehow is going against these guys, who are the ones who are supposed to be the protectors of our women, are the ones that are churning out and opening the door for every other group, not just black men, but every other group of men and women to disrespect our black women. And to me, it needs some sort of, oomph behind a lot of black men to say, if you do that again, there's going to be serious consequences. Do you see what I mean? There must be something shown that they've done this. Here's the response. So the next person that wants to try it, they know this is the risk they're taking to disrespect black women the way that they're doing. And that's the problem.
Yeah. I think what is I'm going to play this. You over this. So just on the screen on Instagram, the algorithm is constantly giving me black men who've married European women, whatever. I think they might be from Africa and they've gone to Europe to live, and there's a lot of this kind of stuff going on. And in the comments, it's you're seeing a whole lot of people being sick. Europeans with Europeans, Africans with Africans. Always don't follow this example. Never. Germany dead now. Clowns. Poo sound, sick sign. Africans with Africans. There's that signs, and then they're saying it in their own languages. Rest in peace, white race. There's a black white man washing a black kid in the head or whatever it is. A sick sign. A white woman walking through the streets with things thrown at her saying shame, shame, shame. Anti-Russian button. Racial pollution. Another single mum. It goes on. It's non-stop, right? And every single video I've got has this, right? And then you might get the old black man saying, "Oh, beautiful woman," right? So what I'm saying is this is very consistent when people do the racial showcasing videos, and even when they do the kids one way look, and a lot of white women, they do that. They do things like and maybe some black women as well, fair enough, right? Oh, I'm from Nigeria. She's from Poland. Look how beautiful our kids are. Mixed kids are kids are beautiful, blah, blah, this kind of stuff, right? So, like, this is also something that we need to tackle. Now, this is why I say, if I go back to, let me stop this thing from blowing up my machine. Go back. This is why I say, stop sharing, please. Why? Whenever I'm going to say I'm going to say things like black men are conquered, right? And there needs to be a what is it? Is it this Windows? There needs to be points and things to achieve, things that are at the zenith of black betterment, like the zenith of and not everyone will be able to achieve because it's by definition. And those are these three things: black families, black economics, black health. Finding out what a person is doing to improve these things, either internally or externally, amongst a family group or amongst a community group. If these are the three pressure points there, right? The triple triumphs, black families. Now, what's happening is this person is ruining black families, right? So you can connect that. These are guys who I'm just going to mute this just for 4 seconds. I don't know my machine's messing up. Hold up. Mute that for 4 seconds. Is that me? Yeah. So what's happening is these individuals, like where I would like things to be, and they're going to say this is very shocking, but not shocking enough in my opinion, is black men from the UK should be somewhat somewhat embarrassed to say that they're not with a black woman. Like, it shouldn't roll off the tongue with ease and you know and gusto. It should be like, no, I unfortunately, family, I got married before I understood what black Betterment was. So that's the kind of thing, yeah, because it's too easy. It's too easy now for I think everywhere I've gone, the biggest pushback I've ever got back, always, the biggest pushback, always, is the black family, the black woman. Yeah, as in having an ideology that puts emphasis on becoming constructive and find a constructive woman. Yeah, it's always been, if it isn't for LGBT reasons, it'll be for miscegenation reasons. Yeah. And and like I said, the road man, the vegan man, the Muslim man, the Christian man, the atheist man, the man who works in the office, they all get on cold and together. It's like, no, man, love has no color, right? So it has to be
That's
this.
powerful when you list it out like that, bro, because
Yes.
they're all supposed to be of the highest vibration as well, but yet they
Yes.
all got that in common.
They've all got that in common, right? And that's why when I look at the work I'm doing and the years, and like I said, I've done street work.
Not the Nation of Islam, bro. Come on now. Come on now.
No. Nation of Islam don't count. Like Nation of Islam is an example of what to do.
When you said the Muslim man, like, come on, bro.
No, well, you know me. When I say Muslim, I'm talking about Speaker's Corner Muslim, the Arab influence Muslim community.
Cool, yeah.
I would say the FOI or something. I wouldn't say, even though they, I would say the Fruit of Islam, FOI, Nation of Islam. I wouldn't call them just that single word. There's more to their title than just Islam, right? So but like I said, the reason why the Nation of Islam are important is because they are raised in a culture that teaches them knowledge of self. And I'm happy for any person to become any ideology that teaches you knowledge of self, but we understand that some people, it will take them long to accept a faith, or long to accept this faith or this concept or this organization. So what we're delivering is a easier way for a person to access betterment. It's just just like veganism or whatever. It's a lifestyle, and it's just, here are the key principles. And once again, I know that the biggest hurdle we're going to face is black men not being able to marry the daughters of white men. So that's why we break black betterment into two categories. You have casual and complete, right? And what we do is like I said, if you can't do the complete version of black betterment, we label it. That's like black belt and white belt, but it limits where you can go in certain organizations. But you're still welcome to participate and do good wonders in the realm you can. And what you have to think about is, when we push this concept that the importance of black love, you're going to have 50% to 60% of black men in the UK, in certain cities, whatever, who are married to non-black women. So what you're saying is, okay, fair enough. There's still betterment work you can do. We're just going to do it by a case-by-case basis. So, you can build a school, you can make a circus, you can cook a meal for homeless children, whatever, right? And doing that consistently is your black betterment building contribution. You'll never be called a black betterer, because a black betterer, you lose the title if you're not married to a black woman. Why is that important? Because black women know that by being with them is part of a process of being at the echelon of pro-blackness, the echelon of B1, the echelon of consistency towards black betterment, the echelon. Yeah, there is no greater concept than becoming constructive and finding a constructive woman. There's no, and what I'm saying is, when I debate the 99% of black men are conquered, I will be starting with that, and I want you to observe the speed of a millipede, yeah, the killer speed of a millipede, that you're going to see a pushback on this concept. And that's because their economics and is so integrated in the daughters of a white man that I've just said a blasphemy. I've just said abomination, you see. Right? But we have to be merciful, brothers and sisters. We have to say, even if you don't practice these very echelon-based stuff, there is still a place for you. And remember this saying, family. Remember, everything is scientific. Everything is social scientific. So in the black community, there are two types: those who are loved and those who are important. If you practice black betterment, black families, black economics, black health, you are important. If you do not, you are loved. And whenever you're in a debate and they're trying to fight you, they're trying to harm you, they're trying to break you down, they're trying to give you all the European philosophies to make what you do make no sense. You just say, brother, sister, know you are loved. That's it. I'm giving you the science. This is the science that I've been practicing for years. I can tell for everything I've ever done, mark my words, this is the most successful. You do not argue and fight and demean. You say, brother, know you're loved. I'm now going to work with those who are important on your behalf. You will not join me on the ark. You will not join me in the room. Know you're loved.
Brother Raven,
yes,
I do want to ask you to seriously consider that probably us having to change up the way that we push the Black love narrative. Like, I do think that it is a stronger way to do it in the way that you demonstrated today. I think that it's the shutting down of the disrespect that is running rife.
Yes.
That should be the way that you do it, rather than telling men that we've broken down their psyche of being with a black woman, because I think it falls in deaf ears, and it kind of is. It kind of goes along with the same narrative of women being at the bottom. It's like, oh, we have to do it because our women, they have no one. It's like this desperate aspect when in reality the black woman is an asset. The black woman has always been an asset throughout history. They inspire, they create, they are the cradle of life. So to even go through this narrative, it just doesn't fit well with me to go through that narrative.
I remember
think
you saying this before, sister. Yeah, let me write this down. Because I remember you before you were saying, maybe another sister also was with you, and it was, it was actually some other woman as well, and it was this, and maybe it's the way I'm putting it, this concept like almost charity love, like you've got
definitely, and I want to, I just,
this cannot be. So
yeah, we can't. I just doesn't fit well with me anymore, and I understand why, but it's just, I can't, like, it just doesn't, it doesn't rock with my spirit anymore. And I think that there is a space of when you do, and people will say that black women say all the time that they're the most disrespected, and they are, and they should say that, and we are, and I stand by that. I'm one of the women who you will hear say that, but please understand, it's never because of our worth. We don't feel that it's not through the vision that we've seen that was beautifully displayed in that video, where in reality, the truth is what the preference that these lost men have given into. They see who the person is on top, right? And when black women say that we are the most disrespected, is because we are aware of our spirit. We are aware of our value, but we are also aware that our partners think of us in the same reaction as what that brother did. And that in those lines, we say that we are the most disrespected. It is never in a way of needing or desperate or feeling in a way that we don't know what we are and this loss. And remember, a lot of the incel vibe was black women are lost. They don't know who they are. They're jealous. You remember all that? So you understand why we don't like this narrative, because the way that they've spun it is absolutely no way in the way that we feel or we value ourselves. If anything, it amplifies how they feel about their own women. So going forward in regards to the marketing is a stronger way, the way that you can highlight the love and the promotion of black love while condemning men who disrespect their women is by being unapologetic, telling them that it's not even a joke. There's no ifs or buts or maybes about it. This is absolute. Having a militant feel on that. This is like, brother, I can't even joke with you. Like, while they're joking, still face. I want a Khalid Muhammad out here. Do you understand? That's just not tolerated. Like, you're looking like a fool. Have a solid face. So the person who's giggling at his own jokes realize that he's the fool. Do not giggle with him to try and make him feel better while trying to reason with him. That's not how we do things. Never how we've done things. And it's not looking strong on us and strong on you as men. Right, but I say us because I love our community and I understand that represents us. But I'm really trying to talk to the warrior spirit of the men here. I understand that the other men is going to go over their heads.
Yeah, of
Do you
course.
understand? So I'm saying that while you have that militant stance and you do that, while you're telling them that that's not tolerated, while you're doing that, you can also, because we can walk and chew gum. While you're doing that, the next thing to say is we value our women, we uplift our women, we think our women are da da da, we think our women are da 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 da. So you're killing two birds with one stone. You're shutting down. You're actually doing. That's why my question throughout it is, what are we going to do? We understand the psychology of why these men do that. We don't want to hear no more about the psychology. Like I said, black women have been done knowing the psychology. That's why they say they're the most disrespected, because I've broken down it, right? So we don't want to hear about the psychology. We want to see what you're going to do. And I think that that kills two birds with one stone. You are now showing some sort of stance and standing up to it with an absolute. There is no if not a baby, maybes, not giggling with them. There's an absolute there. Yeah, there's a militance there. And then number two, you're now introducing why. You're now introducing and uplifting your women instead of going to a man who's that lost with the psychology that the brothers have broken down for us all today, and then trying to plead with them to like their own women, where their women are the epitome of women. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you, bro?
Super good stuff. Like, we give thanks, of course, and we give thanks. And one thing I would like to add to that is, I remember when I was debating on that show, I had to stop myself and say, we love black women. I'm going to give an example. We love black women. We want to be black women. Black women are the best. And this kind of, this was to be given to the public. However, because we are conquered, because we don't have value of self, yeah, and we are not protecting our women. That is why they're the least protected, the least desired. You see, from our standpoint, as in from the standpoint of the lost brother, right? But a synchronized brother is always gonna cherish a black woman, right?
Yeah, I understand why you're saying that. You're saying it from the point of ownership. You're saying the reason why they're in
Yeah.
this position
So
or they're seen this way is
yeah,
because we're not deeming our responsibility. I get what you're saying
the
in that
need
way,
and
but
worth
as I
of
said,
being a
that
black
that's
woman
only
can
going
never
to
diminish, right?
relate to another brother who has the same psyche as you.
Yeah. No, I
And
hear
as
that.
you've demonstrated, 99% of them don't. Right?
Yeah,
We've all
no,
agreed.
you're right. Delineation is important. I mean, and how we delineate. We delineate and we say, look, this, we value black women. Black women are important, and you're not even part of that concept. Yeah, I'm not going to sit down and argue with a person who doesn't, understand the basics of how you create a family. Like, just
Absolutely. Like I said, bro, like I jumped on a few times, like, because at first the conversation, I just felt like, oh, there's a lot of reasoning whys and things like that. And then by the time I jumped in, you were just like, nah, this is not good enough. Like, I don't care if they feel offended, if they've called, um, what's the word? 99% of them are, what was it, bro?
conquered.
Conquered. You're like, and that's when I just jumped down. I was thinking, okay, this is what I want to hear more of. And it's that kind of tone, bro. And I just think it's time to move in that tone. Do you understand? Like, this is the only tone that we understand as a people. Like, we're a lot of a tough love kind of people, We're not really a model cuddle kind of people, bro. And I think that if anything, this has demonstrated it, that when you try and give these people a blight, it goes over their heads. Like, sometimes they need the hard hitting facts. Do you understand? It's not this giggling and then, because everything's up for someone's interpretation of it. Everything. But if you're very clear and direct, there's nothing up for it. He could have meant this, he could have meant that. No, you're direct, you're straight. There's no joking here. Like, you're either down for your women or you're not. Like, let's be honest. Like, if you can't even do that in your whole entire life, like all the responsibilities we've got, all the things that you stay true, your own morals. If you can't just be like, right, you know what, going forward, I'm really not gonna just SHIT on my own women. Sorry, bro. Do you understand? Like, but it's like, come on. Like, this shouldn't be a thing that we have to model coddle on. Like, it just should be a definite thing. Like it's pretty weak when we get into them standards.
There
And then
was
when we want to talk about other aspects in our community, we have a militant, no excuses kind of policy. Heads are looking well, if we're going to do it there, we need to do it everywhere.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think one thing I'm always going to try to spell out is the reflection of black women doesn't reflect the being of a black woman. It reflects the
Absolutely.
failure of the black man, and that's why I use terms like inadequate, conquered, and I put a comparison versus other male groups because my thing is to completely remove women from the discussion completely.
Conversation, yeah.
Yeah, it's like this is between black men and other men, and
That's right.
and you were, and it's like this. It's how easy it becomes when it's like, oh yeah, I can make fun of black women because they do this or they wear that and they don't smile like this, right? Or I could say, can you see other men doing the same thing as you? No. Why? Because they're in harmony with their women, because they know how to direct and put their women in a place where they can be observed and beholden, right? You failed this. And what you're doing is you failed on your own women, and now you're trying to escape into other men's community. And the men you're trying to escape into have a history of conning you, killing you, and colonizing you, right? But yet you're here laughing and giggling as they mock you. Before I forget, there's a sister called Cream. She's like a rapper kind of host woman. A very, very soft spoken, well, very direct spoken kind of like talk show host. And she recently started her own show. And I followed it. But we covered her on one of the shows. And I actually wanted to cover what she said on here, but I didn't put the video in. But what she said was there was that European man who went to Jamaica who wanted to do whatever. And he was arguing with her and the other gentleman on the show about he's more Jamaican than her. It got her so angry, and she was actually pregnant then, and we covered it because she was pregnant, and we were seeing like a European man disrespecting a pregnant woman, and there was a brother there who was a co-host who was really kind of like sitting back and not doing much, right?
He was loving it, egging it on, encouraging it. Yeah.
Now the reason why this is even more points is she's pushed forward that she had a kid early because of this, like this argument.
Wow.
Wow.
And this was the genesis of her leaving the show. Now this is a
Shall I tell
very
you the wickedest thing as well, bro?
Go
I
on.
was on 90 for Sister 90 show, yeah, around about the time that came on. And I said this, yeah. I said like the disrespect of it, like number one, like the level of the way our journalism or even like our conversation that we have with each other is so low when it's like this RMT guy is even getting hits. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's the vibrations are so low, and I was saying this. And I was also saying that how this guy has no respect for her or nothing like that. The amount of brothers who jumped on the panel to shut me down.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
When I was saying this, bro. Right. And they were like, you really think that he wouldn't protect Cream? You think he ain't about Cream? Like, all of this cack, bro, right? And look, fast forward. And this is what I'm saying, bro. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, these men egg these type of men on. They know they do. We all know they do. They wouldn't be in the position that they are. Do you think RMT's solely got females? Do you think that that's his biggest customers, followers? No way. Like, this is what I'm saying. And it was evident that he was disrespecting her, and anyone would say it, they would get shut. I got shut down. Obviously, I stood my ground because I knew I was right. But I got shut down so many times. And I just thought, I'm going to clock this because I can't see how these grown men, we're all the same generation, you can't see what I'm seeing here. Like, you genuinely think that, but this is what I'm saying about the lack of protection, bro, and the not recognizing of the disrespect. This woman is big pregnant with this man disrespecting her about her culture. She's visibly getting annoyed, and it's all good for the views. She's getting frustrated. Like, when I tell you that when we don't really truly analyze, we push it off onto the Americans, like the Americans are bad. We don't really analyze how our psyche is within our own, because no one really gave a damn about that. No one. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, if I find that clip on Nines, I'll get it and I'll play it. Literally, and this is what I'm
Really.
saying. There's loads of these type of people. We've seen a disrespect in a big way or in a subtle way. We don't care. We don't care. Like that's the reality. That was a plain example of it, bro. She's big, pregnant, and not the man there who's supposed. Remember, I was getting pushed down. You don't think he'll protect Queen? You don't think this man sat there giggling, talking about the numbers will go up? This is a viral moment. She's big, pregnant. She's getting frustrated with a white man disrespecting her, telling her that he knows more about her culture than her. Big, pregnant. But that's okay because you know what? It's views. That this is what I'm saying. That it's just crazy.
But this is right. And sister, look, it's been okay from the first time that they decided to talk about black women as being BITCH and HOS. It's been okay throughout that, and we're jumping and dancing to the music. So as soon as we dance to any tune that says that, with the videos that are presenting our women in that certain way, then we've okayed it from then.
No,
so it's been okayed in the whole community.
Again, that's another weak dead out excuse. I've never
It's not
seen
an
it to the
excuse,
point
it's a
now.
fact.
No, it's just an excuse. It's not a fact at all because there's never been a time like it is now. Like for me, growing up, where publicly men are this weak, yeah, publicly going on to shows like Pearl and being their personal slaves, yeah, like literally lynching, having pregnant women getting disrespected. Like, yeah, we had music with inappropriate language. That's not in relation or not the reason solely for this now.
It's not
Men,
about
black
solely. We're
UK
saying
men need to own it. It's not everyone going to the club shaking their ass. No, it's
that's not what we said.
allowing
What we
people
said
like
was
it's allowing people like M Dot into the culture. It's allowing people like Pearl into the culture for a bag. It's understanding that you know that your women are the most disrespected, and then using that to get a coin. Yeah, it's the others who, even though you're not the podcasters, all were subscribed to RMT, all were backing up Sarah, all weren't doing anything. It was the man them who saw Raven talking the ting and would walk past him and back up the rest. It's the ones who sit down and giggle and laugh about Black Betterment and then come when something big happens, have a big, why are we here now? Or why is this happening? And having some confusion. Like, take some ownership.
hold on. So are you not really trying to say that when they?
I'm not going to
before the
blame where we're at
podcasting-
now. It's because somebody has been saying a whole bunch of bitches and hoes for more than I've been alive. Yeah, because I can go back to 1940 something when I've heard music where they were talking a whole heap of slackness. Are we going to blame it from then as well? Like, where's the ownership?
That's not true. That's not true at all. That's
If
not
that
true.
is true, that is true. I
Hold on,
can
one
show
second.
you music where they were talking a whole heap of slackness from years and years ago.
I'm just going to press mute for foot. Listen, let me try that perspective. I think what it is I think both is correct in the sense of there's obviously a genesis and a continuation of badness. So if you want to go down to black exploitation and how
That's exactly what I agreed on as well. That is, so I don't know why you're thanking you. He's just identifying the facts. What's that got to do with where we are at now? That's that the sole reason? No.
Sis,
I didn't say it was the sole reason.
Brother,
You're just
brother,
arguing
brother,
for
brother,
the sake of it.
brother, sisters, listen, you're both
No,
correct.
I'm just sick of the excuses.
No, hold on.
But it's not an excuse.
It is an excuse.
Brother,
How's it an excuse? It's a conversation about how we got here.
Yeah, and I'm telling you in a conversation that it's an excuse.
Let's read the room. And let's find solutions, right?
Is it not a continuation of that?
But brother, what there's nothing you gain from something where you're both saying the same thing from different perspectives, right?
Okay.
And I'm saying this. You listen. That in all societies and capacities, there's always going to be a genesis of where slackness becomes normalized. And when you're in the digital age, we are now in the age where we have instant social media, instant logging on, 100% bandwidth, and all this stuff, right? So even though this stuff was here and there, it's now going to escalate at a much higher rate. It's going to be easily viewable and have a bigger influence. But what we're saying is, now that we're seeing it, regardless of how it got here, it's now a problem where it's now visibly a problem. So even if it was there before, it's now much more of a visible problem, right? To the point where it's harder to.
And bearing in mind, white people have been disrespecting their women in their music for days. It's not only the black culture that's been calling their women's bitches and hoes. So what happens when a white man's been doing it for ages? This is what I'm saying. Like, we're not the only ones who do this, but yet this is the reason why we're at this problem. Other people have been doing it in their music for how long?
Brother Isa, 1 second, Brother Isa. What is the contention like, in the sense of like, regardless if it happened there or now or whatever the influence is, we are dealing with this challenge now, right?
Right. Brother, I hear you. So the reason I mentioned it, I'm saying because black men did not shut it down then. Yes. So when I was hearing MWA talking their thing, I was shocked. Do you get what I'm saying? But I still had Public Enemy and I had brothers around me and Rastas and so on. I still had my positive reggae, not this foolishness that's coming out today with this whatever going on there. I still had my Public Enemy and my other positive rap. And what I'm saying to you, brother, though, when we were talking about these things back then, we were called the same as you, racist. So what I'm saying, it's a continuation. I'm not saying, my point is at every stage, we should be shutting it down. Zero tolerance. Do you understand? And I was given an example of how that should have happened then, because it was doing the same. It's obviously worse now. We got the youths, them communicating and arguing them straight away. They're out on the street doing their thing. It's the same thing. It's the same principle.
I hear
Do you
this. Now,
understand?
let me interject. What I want to talk to both of you now, it's very important, and you both are very important contributors. What it is it's a very passionate topic, and I think what we should try to do is allow each other to have perspectives, and we might not agree on the perspectives, but allow to have it, right? Now, even if we don't agree on maybe the genesis of how something got somewhere, we might actually agree that something needs to be done. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to work on the campaign or the conclusion of what should be done to make sure that this doesn't continue or escalate to a point where it's just completely out of control. And both of you have given amazing examples, amazing strategies, to which I've written down, right? But I will ask, I know it's hard, that when we're on the platform, we can, allow each other to express ourselves and try to, but not necessarily, if possible, get really enraged in passion about different perspectives. Now it's hard, I get it, right? But that's what when you're on the cutting edge trying to tackle these challenges, it gets that way. But I want us to, whenever we
my
feel
bad
like
on my part of that. Like, I apologize to the brother. I just think, to be honest with you, collectively, I just think that the culture is just fed up of just hearing what sounds like everything which way, but like ownership and doing about it. Do you know what I mean? So I just think that that's where that came from. But yeah,
No, but that's what I'm saying. The ownership is when we were telling
I
black
think
brothers
you got
back
there in the
then.
end, but like I said, I think the conversation of talking about, what I think it started is way back when they started talking about this, that, and the other, and it's just like, okay, it got to the point where you finally said that we need to be militant, and the brother should have stepped up and maybe should have led with that, right? But that's what I'm saying. I think that's what we want to hear more of, like, to
if you
start
listen,
talking to, especially on here, talking about the genesis and things like that. You could probably get away with understanding that most people are aware of our plight. I think the frustration is what we're constantly seeing now, like, and the fact of, like, what brother said about Cream, it has to take that, right? It weren't no one coming out for Cream's defense. There weren't no brothers out there. It took Cream to have to lose the baby for her to really sit down and think, right, I'm out here on my own. I might as well go out on my own. And I'm saying that the conversation in regards to things like that about, let's talk about current, let's talk about ownership, let's talk about what we're going to do, would be a lot more welcomed than why we're at the plight that we're at.
Let me just say why I say that.
Wait, before you jump in, just a clarification. We give thanks that the sister did not lose the baby. Just so you understand, she had
premature.
She had his early birth, but the baby is fine.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason, brother, I just want to say the reason why I say that is because we still have the music going on, right?
Yes.
And my point is, if we put it all in one label of it being all anti-black, and notice that it's all. None of it should be tolerated, because I'm saying it's not like it happened and then there's a line and we don't have them dissing our sisters anymore. It's continued and expanded, and it's got all these tentacles going everywhere else. And I'm saying, because we didn't have social media then, I'm saying that's where you can clearly see where they're openly got our sisters doing these things, dancing a certain way and being spoken of in a certain way. Do you see what I mean? And that's why I mentioned it.
You're valid there, but like I'm saying to you, we can't control that, because we know the powers that be that control that. We understand why they choose to put out that music than a bag of other conscious music that's out there. What we can control is who we see, who we click onto, how we react. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, there's conversations of that could really push us to actually move off from the first step to the second step. Yeah, things like the music, no one will tell you that you're wrong. This is what I'm saying to you. Like, this is what I'm saying to you, why preaching to the choir sometimes happens a lot in conversations when we don't have to. In the small cases where we get to be all around each other, where we don't have to have the basic conversations like that. Like, we agree that the music is wrong, but we understand the powers that the powers that be in that. We don't have much control in regards to things like that, the average person, you and me. But you know what you and me averagely do have control on? Who we support, who we click, the people that we mock when they're trying to stand up and do something great for us. These are the things that we should be concentrating on to move forward.
I agree. But what I'm saying is, like you say, what we click on and so on, my point is if we include these things, so from our perspective, yes,
don't
we
listen
can't
to the
control that.
music. All right, bro, I get it. Don't listen to, I've said it, like, I get it. Like, everyone agrees with you. The music is a problem. Like, we get it.
And has been.
Look, both points correlate and make sense. And if you look at Muhammad Ali, there's some videos of him animation and Farrakhan. They're very, very good case study in the Nation of Islam, because what they do is they pick up slackness very quickly. So you'll see them in the 70s saying, I will not support any black exploitation movie because pimps and drug pushers and stereotypes. And then I remember there's videos of them going after Eddie Murphy for his Raw, I think, and this kind of stuff. Going after Prince for wearing pants on stage. You know, they document that this kind of slackness, we can't support it. So and it does have an effect, and it does, and it does create a pyramid where it's like, how can we do even more extreme? You were wearing pants on stage, now we're going to wear nothing on stage. Now we're going to be bugging men on stage. This kind of stuff, right? So it is there. But I think what we're at the point now is like, how are we going to react as a community to it, and what is the new militant stance that we should be doing? And I think Sister was highlighting certain things that she would appreciate, and one is that the acknowledgement that black women are still good, are still high desired, but it's the lack of the focus should be, it is the black man who is unaware of that, rather than that's their natural stance. It's just,
I just want to say, I began with this when I came in, and I think because I was cut off, where I was going with that was included in your conquered men or conquered black men is those men, because I said it at the beginning, right? When I talked about the recent man who's just been arrested, right? And I'm saying, as a collective of them, anyone who's been speaking and rapping and singing that way in a negative way about us as a collective should be under the same label, not just podcasts. And that was my point that I was getting to. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't just look at podcasts and review podcasts, bung them in there too. Because there's people arguing against, where the sister said no one disagrees, there's loads of people that are telling me, oh, so because you think because they listen to music that makes them go out there and do the wickedness that they do. I've been listening to the music all the time and I don't do this and I don't. There's bare people that argue against that. Do you see what I mean?
I don't think it's just. Can you see the screen? I think the problem is it's just not at the fourth. Like, if there was a burning house, that's not the first thing on the list. We're in a burning house.
I would say this.
I think there's stuff that we could do collectively. Like I said, I gave a suggestion. I gave 2 suggestions that I hope the brother seriously considers. Number 1, going forward, the way that he relays the information in regards to promotion of Black love. I hope he restructures that. And also the fact that I think that the next I forgot what you call it, bro, but the next thing that you do, it should be under 99% of UK black men are conquered, right? So I've shown him, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to do what I'm asking of others to do. I'm not just saying it. Do you understand? Like, if there's a problem in the media right now, what can we do as a collective? And some of the things are really not that bad, you know, like not following something, not clicking on something, not giving it its space, um, giving references to people like Rap Raven and other people within our community who are actually doing things within our community. I've given Rap Raven a great strategy to like go for clickbait algorithm, things like that, where it's hard hitting in the face. And I just think sometimes the music business and things like that is so elusive. People just roll their eyes like, yeah, we get it, we know it. Do you understand? But what are we doing? There's a frustration of what are we
But
doing?
the
And I
viewpoint,
think that hunger and that frustration is necessary, because the opposite of that is indifference, and it's just no passion, and it's I'm a humanitarian, and I have nothing, and it's empty. Do you understand? And for people to feel like that, we shouldn't we should embrace them. This is what I'm saying. Everyone has a place. Do you understand? So that's all I've got to say on that. Yes, the music, we know the music, we get it, the music. It obviously, that's by osmosis that people should understand that when we're saying don't support these people who are putting us down in podcasts, that equally equates to people who are disrespecting us in the music industry, that equally equates to people who disrespect us in the health factor, in medical, in business. Do you understand? Like, this is what I'm saying.
Brothers, this is a quick thing. So on the screen is the word error prone activity. And I think this word can be used whenever. So if someone's rapping or making a a jive comedy show about black women or whatever it was, we can say this is error prone. You see, like this is error prone. And I recommend using it like when describing activities, which could be in any field, a theme or whatever, where it's like, well, this is going against the collective best interest of black people. This is error prone behavior. So rather than concluding all the time to like calling someone unsynchronized or conquered or all the many names that people have, we can let them know that we want you to know that this activity you're doing is error prone. Yeah. And it's more so like when someone, it's also like you want to do it at the point where someone is talking and they've started on that kind of journey to. So it might be something like you're talking about black women and they go, oh, the thing with black women's hair is, hold on, brother, you're entering error prone activity now. Yeah. Think about what you're going to say, because you usually don't well. But so whenever people
I
start,
preferred Concord.
well, conquered is where they are when they've completely failed, right? Meaning that that's what they are. They're conquered, right? But when so they are to be like almost delineated from. But whenever you're in a communication standpoint and someone is hinting at going somewhere where it doesn't work in the black people's best interest, it's like, brother, this is error prone behavior or error prone conversation. We want to kind of steer it more towards this, right? Before someone just really goes 10 miles down the conquered path, you let them know that you're actually now you're taking. I do all the time. You're taking us away from black Betterment and towards humanitarianism, or whatever you want to call it, right? And this is error prone behavior. So this gives them a warning that, hold on, brother, sister, we're going towards the error prone zone, and we want to stick back to loving blah 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 blah. So I would recommend it, and hopefully you'll see me using it when I debate. And I wrote it down here, sis, and we can change it now, but it's 99% of black men are conquered and refuse to come. So it's 99%
UK.
Yeah, that's right. 90% of UK black men are conquered, and then in a smaller font it'll be and refuse to compete with other men groups. So
Yeah.
So big letters will be 99% of UK men are conquered. That's what they see.
UK black men.
UK black men, sorry, are conquered and refuse to compete with other men groups. And then in
Listen,
the
if you're
caption,
gonna do it, you got to do it right.
and then let's discuss this. And then what will happen is there'll be there'll be images, but there'll also be like a video version where it's clips of UK black men saying unacceptable things.
Yes.
And then we can discuss that. So
You know what would be great as well, like especially with like if you start with that one, because that one has just recently come out.
Yes.
And do the clips of them laughing with that idiot on it, sorry, of that person on his show. Do
Yes.
the apology and then do that one, because that one shuts down the argument of I didn't have a clue, I'm not aware that I could be disrespectful of my own race. It just shuts so much of the excuses that they did down. Like, you need to do that. So it's like the clip of that, the clip of the incident, the clip of the apology, and the clip of them doing it before. Like, done. Like, that's literally a minute and a half max. You'll be able to fit that in. Like, literally, there's no words needed. Do you understand? Just show it to them. Like, this is what I mean. It needs to be shown. Like, if you're gonna say something that hard hitting, it's gonna make you click and be like, what? Wow, really? Like, you took it there. And then when I click on it and I see it, I'm like, oh wow. Do you understand? Like, it needs to be that. So yeah.
Right. Now, keeping in mind, even though a lot of this could qualify as shock tactics or whatever, there's always going to be a pamphlet or an intro which says something like, "How do we fix this?" or "What is to be done?" or something like this, where it's like we're actually looking for a solution. So we're acknowledging that we're conquered, but
it encourages discussion as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's discuss this kind of thing. So, family, we are. I give thanks to Razor, Empress Kush, and East of the Black Internet, and the Black Select. Sorry, we're gonna end it there. We're gonna an hour longer than we normally do, but it's a very important topic, and we're gonna do a part 2 because part 2 we're now in the campaign thing, so we're gonna stay on this Black Men Conquered, and we're gonna try to find solutions. Blah blah blah. But any last words before we go, family?
Just big up everybody on the panel. Sorry for interrupting you, bro. Bless up everyone on the panel. Bless up all the brothers on here. Great discussion. Even when we disagree, it's okay to disagree. We're adults. It's fine as long as we leave as a family. Well done again, bro, for another great show. Yeah. And apologies for any disrespect I did on your show as well, bro. But yeah, Black Betterment.
Brilliant. Yeah, apologies for any disrespect to anyone on the panel. And my brother. Brilliant idea, brilliant show. And yeah, I hope it has the impact which we intend, because obviously, yeah, the direction we're going is absolutely self-destructive. So brilliant, bro.
Thank you, family. And Brother Razor, are you still there? Maybe he's sleeping or washing something. So okay, we'll just leave him there. But tune in next week, family. We'll have the designs for the 99% of UK black men are conquered and refuse to compete with other men groups. Let's do it. Next week we'll show what it looks like, and then we'll take it even further. Thank you very much. Until next week, Black Betterment to all, and to all Black Betterment. Aha.